we take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Yeah.
Good evening and happy Sunday night, everybody out there in MaxSpeedTV land. It's Chris and Rick up in the booth, bringing you the TRJKarting.com truck series with Blazing Pedals at the helms. These guys have been putting on a fantastic show all season long, and we look forward to another fantastic race. We've got 24 drivers out there in the server, Rick, and they're going to be battling some wicked conditions here in Kentucky.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, right now that air temperature is sitting at about 77 degrees. Humidity's at 1%. That track temperature, Chris, that's something that we got to watch tonight. Right now, that track temperature is sitting at 100 degrees, so it's going to be crazy, man. I mean, these trucks are going to be slipping, sliding all over the place. We're here for 200 laps. That's 300 miles tonight, brother. I'm excited.
Yeah, a mile-and-a-half tri-oval here in Sparta, and they're definitely getting ready to go. So are we, Rick, and what a way we're going to kick this one off. Let's take a look at the point standings here, because we were talking about it before the practice ended. My goodness, is it tight up there. We got Aaron Bockover leading the way, and behind him, Ashton Slice with just 4 points behind. Tyler Gary behind by 8, and the list goes on and on and on. Top 20, Rick, only separated by 60, but that top 11 or 12, those are the guys I'm looking at. I'm going to throw in 13 just so I can catch Ian out there. 36 points separating first and 13th spot, Rick.
Oh, very close, Chris. I mean, these guys have been putting on, like you said, some exciting racing this season. And here we are. I mean, it shows in the points. I mean, these guys are dedicated. They're doing everything that they possibly can do. And it's going to be a good season, man.
As we take a look at the top 10 out there in practice so far, shouldn't be a surprise. Michael Cozy Jr., if you've been paying attention, you know that Michael has been on an absolute tear, Rick. The last few Sundays, he has come home as the race winner, but he's got a couple of guys behind him that are looking to maybe knock him down a peg or two here tonight.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, the only driver right now to have multiple victories so far this season, he's got 3. He's looking for his 4th one here in race number 5 tonight.
You know, and talking about points, which you already had, Michael Cozy, in virtue of those 3 wins, He has jumped up 7 positions from last week to this week to 4th spot. So that's a heck of a climb in just 1 week, basically. And so we've run 4 races. Tonight is our 5th. Michael has only driven in 3 of those, and he's sitting in the top 5 in points.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a really good spot, Chris. I mean, a couple other movers there from last week. It looks like Spencer Preet there dropped 8 positions, sitting in 18th, tied right now with Blake Decker right now. Another big mover, Chris, Samuel Baumgarten. He moved up 7 positions, sitting in 22nd right now. And Brian Dennis also moving up 7 spots into the 25th position.
Well, speaking of being in a good position, we want to thank all those guys on the other end of the channel, all you fans that came out to watch here tonight. We appreciate you coming out and checking out the happenings here on MaxSpeedTV. Can't wait to bring you some more action, and it's coming in about 30 seconds. We swap over to qualifying, and then we get it on tonight here from Kentucky.
And you know as well as I do, Chris, I mean, this track, I mean, this is going to be cool because it's going to be the first day-night transition track that these guys are racing at this season. So it's going to be cool. We're going to be starting with the sun out, and as the race goes on, it's going to get darker and darker. That's when things are really going to change. I mean, the track temperature already dropping down 2 degrees, sitting at 98 degrees, Chris. So that's going to be cool to see how these guys can acclimate, how their driving styles are going to change. I mean, watching the races here, it's going to be interesting. There's multiple different lines. Some guys like up against the wall. Some guys like down in the kind of the mid of the track. And a lot of them like to hug that yellow line. So that's going to be real fun. We're entering qualifying now.
Yeah, just waiting for a driver, any driver really at this point, to get out there so we can bring you the action. Let's see if it's going to let me here.
I'm showing Ashton Slice right now, Chris, getting that number 68 Icebreakers truck, getting up to speed now. Just came off a pit road there.
Yeah, I'm going to ask our fans to stand by because I've got black screen. It happens sometimes. Let's see. This will give me enough time. We'll be right back here. All better. All right, sorry about the technical difficulty. At least we got it out of the way. We're on board. Chris Williams, number 50, and Chris is trying to get that thing qualified up. We'll bring on the old qualifying board. Couple of drivers out there, like Rick mentioned, trying to find some speed. So Chris Williams was able to make that first lap, a 32.991. And another lap doesn't look like it's going to be counted as he is off pace. So maybe he touched the wall. That's what we're going to have to assume. On board with Marshall Newton in the 76.
Noticing pretty much so far, everybody's trying to take that middle line, Chris, up and around through, and then they come down as they go below the apron, as they go below the start-finish line there, trying to find as much speed as they possibly can.
Yeah, it's been, it's very interesting. You know, we're watching practice now. The thing is practice, the track was hotter, so the trucks were a little bit looser than they're going to be during the actual race conditions. The track already down 2 or 3 degrees, so it's going to be something to kind of watch out for tonight. These guys are going to have to kind of back it off a little bit at the beginning and maybe find some grip as the track kind of cools down for the evening. It's going to be fun. I love these transitions that iRacing put in. It makes it so much different. The racing is different because you're trying to keep up with the track. And, oh, man, it's just pretty cool.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. Right now, Marshall Newton at number 76 sitting on the pole with a 32.519, Chris. We also had the 0-1 Travis Brown. He did his qualifying time at 32.680, as you're seeing there on the board. A couple other guys are starting to head out now. It's going to be fun to see. You're absolutely right, though. I mean, the day-night transition, it's going to be really fun here.
Yeah, we're on board right now, the 78, William Locklear, and he is going to call it a qualifying effort as he's going to start, as of right now, in 5th spot. He just got knocked down, so 5th spot for William Locklear. And we've got a bunch of trucks out there on track right now. We're going to be on board the 26, Tyler Gary. Now, we watched Tyler last week. Boy, he was fighting hard with that truck, kind of back and forth, came up a little bit short last week. Hoping to not repeat that performance, but maybe shoot for a win tonight, Rick.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good drivers, Chris, out there that just have not had the luck for them so far this season. So I know a lot of guys are out there praying for the same thing. Let's just have a little bit of turnaround. Get some points, get to where I need to be. Right now, Chris, watching 92 of Blake Decker doing his qualifying run. See what he can do there. Looks like he's got a new paint scheme. Trump, make America great again. Looking pretty good out there. Love that red, white, and blue. We'll see what Mr. Decker can do. As of right now, he is sitting in 4th with a qualifying time of 32.517. As Chris said, I'd like to thank all the fans out there who came out tonight, this Sunday night, with us in the Blazing Pedals TRJKarting.com Truck Series. As you know, we are in Kentucky. 200 laps, 300 miles. I also like to say to everybody out there, thank you for coming out each and every week. We really do appreciate it. Get chat going. We love watching chat. We like to interact with you folks. Tell us who you're thinking the driver of the night's going to be. As we said, Michael Cozy Jr. right now has 3 wins this season. Going to look to make it number 4 here tonight in race number 5. One person we might not see out there tonight, and I'd like to offer my thoughts and prayers with him. That would be Kyle Gilbert, dealing with the weather down in Kentucky. Praying for everybody there that everything is good and safe. We got some crazy weather going on there in the U.S. and never fun to have to deal with that. I know a couple other guys here in MaxSpeedTV in Tennessee dealing with the same issue, so everybody please be safe. You're definitely in our thoughts and prayers. This is just dealing with a couple other things here just to get everything all set.
Yeah, I can. I can see the channels, I just can't see you guys. And I used to be able to see you guys up in the broadcast booth, but now I can't. Nope. Yeah, well, hold on.
Definitely looks like we have some guys with some new paint schemes out there. Once Chris has all the, as we just saw Ian Habiak take his qualifying time there. Like he might have scraped the wall a little bit. Tyler Gary checking in out chat. Yeah, the track temp is going to drop there, Blake. That's definitely something that we were just talked about there early in the broadcast with this transition, man. You guys are going to be going to nice sunny conditions down to the lights, man. So that's definitely going to be something to be watching out for. Going to end up pretty good. Right now we're seeing Aaron Backover do what he's got to do. Mr. Habiak, thanks for checking in out chat. How you doing, buddy? Ran that first commercial there for TRJKarting.com if you guys need some karting gear or safety gear, anything like that, and some really cool swag. I mean, again, Sunday night's my ritual. The good luck for the Blazing Pedal drivers. I'm wearing my TRJKarting.com sweatshirt. Good to see everybody out there. Tyler Gary, you messed up both of them. That's okay, buddy. Sometimes it's not bad to start from the back either. You got to remember that. I know Chris is just trying to help Mark, Arthur, and Ryan out there right now. Try to figure out some things for race control.
All right, sorry about that, Rick. Yeah, had to help out Mark. He wasn't able to move around in TeamSpeak because he's on a different computer, and well, we can't have race control not being able to contact us. So we got that squared away, and we are at the very end of qualifying. So looks like Michael Cozy Jr. going to be picking up the pole. And man, oh man, we talked about it already. That guy's been on fire for the last 3 weeks, and he's trying to make it 4 in a row, Rick. As we get ready to bring you the grid, we're going to throw on the grid music here. Give us about 20 seconds. All right, we are back. TRJKarting.com, proud to present to you the Blazing Pedals Truck Series. Rick, we're getting ready to go. We got enough drivers on the grid where we can go ahead and do that right now. And, yeah, look at that. It's just been that kind of night. There we go. On the pole with a 32.346, the number 77 truck of Michael Cozy Jr. on his outside, Tyler Dugan. Into the second row, inside, Ashton Schleiss on his outside. James Mullins in the 14. Brandon Dennis starting 5th. Jeremy Walker 6th. Aaron Backover, current points leader, starting in 7th place in his Chevrolet tonight. Chad Oxendine going to be starting in 8th. Blake Decker starting 9th tonight. Marshall Newton in 10th.
And we got Ian.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Now we got Ian Habiak in the number 16, Chris. He's starting on the row 6 on the inside there, 11th. And then we have Jeff Hartline in the 97 is going to be 12th. Row 7, Tyler Gary is going to be starting 13th. Ty Morosco in his 21 machine starting 14th. Row 8, Travis Brown in the 01 in 15th. You got Dalton Kilrow in the 24 starting 16th. Sam Baumgarten qualified the number 42 truck in 17th position, Chris. Next to him, Terry Foster in the number 86. We got Chris Williams starting 19th, and the 78, William Locklear, starting 20th. Then we have Aaron Ramon starting 21st in the 7 truck. 22nd is going to be Corey Sherman in the number 3. Dakota Todd qualified the number 8 truck in 23rd. The 4 of Noah Van Hoot will be starting 24th. And that rounds it out, Chris.
That is just the right amount of time as we are getting ready to drop the green flag on this one. It's going to be good, Rick. Here we go. Green flag is out. Michael Cozy Jr. leading them over the start-finish line. Michael Cozy looking to take turns 1 and 2. He's on the inside. This is always always the toughest part because Sporting has a hard time keeping up. Ashton Schleiss on the inside trying to stay there. Tyler Dugan fighting hard on the outside. Going down the backstretch, getting ready for turns 3 and 4. Dugan to the outside, Slice on the inside, the 68, looking good early.
And that's something that we don't normally see out of the number 68 driver, Chris. Usually Ashton just likes to kind of hang back a little bit, do what he has to do. It looks like this week he's definitely pouring it on and trying something new out there, as he's still battling with Tyler Dugan for second position right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun race, Rick, because I've already started to see it. 3 wide action out there tonight. And we look back into the field. Look at that 44. That's Aaron Bockover. Started in 6th. He's up to 6th right now. Or excuse me, started 7th up to 6th. He's got the 88 of Jamie Walker on his outside. Jamie sporting a new paint job tonight in the 88. Chad Oxendine. Chad has had a really interesting season. He's been one of the faster trucks out there. Just can't seem to put it together to finish it well at the end. Trying to break that cycle here tonight, Rick.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, that number 29 truck, week in and week out, I mean, we see him. He's moving all around the track, doing what he has to do. And usually the first half of the race turns out really well for him, but then usually he gets tied up into something. I know Chad Oxendine looking definitely to make a point, prove that he wants that win and do what he has to do. Right now he's doing good. I mean, he started in 8th. He's still in 8th position, so he hasn't dropped down anywhere. It looks like he's going to be working with the 88 Jamie Walker right now. But there's 44 Aaron Bockover trying to put some pressure on the 88 on the inside right now, Chris, doing what he has to do to try to make that pass.
Bockover doing a fantastic job trying to hold on to that points lead. But he's got to get himself up to the front because Michael Cozy is up there and he is pushing hard. I got a funny text right there, Rick. And I know you got it too. And we're going to get into that in just a little bit. I will just say this. Mark Arthur out there in chat, I know you can hear me. I noticed. So, yeah, we'll definitely have to take care of that later on. But up front, Michael Cozy, he's cozy up front, apparently. We're going to just say that? Do we have to? Do we have to go there, Rick? I think we're going to, because that's where he is, and he has let all 4 make it 5 laps that we've completed so far. We're working lap 6 already. These guys are moving pretty good here. Lap times not falling off that much from where we started, only 0.3 of a second for the race leader. On board 19 truck, that's Tyler Dugan. It looks like he is running a new paint job tonight. Volunteer Traditions. Gonna have to look into that. Brandon Dennis, he started 5th, he's currently in 4th, so he has moved up a spot with Jamie Walker behind him. James Mullins. James in the 14, I do like that truck. It's one of those nice little trucks. Kind of, it's busy, and I think that's why I like it. The OCD doesn't have a chance. Aaron Bockover, we're talking about him. He started in 7th. He's currently in 7th, so net gain of 0. But he's got to watch out because he's got the 26 of Tyler Gary right behind him. And then it's Chad Oxendine, and these guys are trying to work their way up to the front. Travis Brown, yeah, he's there too. He started in 15th. He's worked his way up to 10th. He's followed by Marshall Newton. He's kind of leading the way for a couple of trucks. The 24 of Dalton Kilrow and the 42 of Sam Baumgartner. And I guess we're gonna move in right now, Rick, because it's kind of what we were talking about. In memory of Mark Arthur, free the admins. That's great. We'll talk to Sam about that a little bit later on, but we'll move further on back the field. On board the 16, Ian Habiak in the TRJ Toyota Tundra. Oh my goodness. Toyota Tundra. Ian looking to have himself a good finish. He started in 11th. He's currently 14th. So he's still trying to figure out a way around this track. Jeff Hartline in the 97. Started in 12th. He's currently 15th. He too trying to figure out a way around this track. Then we got Chris Williams in the 50. Aaron Ramon, that 7 truck out there in 17th spot. He did start 21st, so he's moved up a little bit. Ty Morosco a little ways behind him in the 21. Started in 14th, currently in 18th. The 86 of Terry Foster running in 19th spot. He did start 18th. Very nice looking truck. Kind of subdued. I like that. And you got William Locklear. William started in 20th. That's where he sits right now. Corey Sherman behind him. Corey started in 22nd. He has worked his way up to 21st, but he's got the 8 truck Dakota Todd. Remember last week, Rick? Dakota Todd, it was his first time with the Sunday night crew. He had advanced his way up from the Friday night series to the Sunday night series. Had a pretty good run going and then ran into a little bit of trouble. Noah Van Hoot, he's out there in the 4 truck. One of my favorite trucks. I say it week in and week out. And he is running in 23rd. Blake Decker did not take the start. Oh, no, he did take the start of it, but he's 8 laps down. It looks like he may be out of this one already. Michael Cozy is still your race leader. And Rick, why don't you go ahead and take it, because I've been going for a bit.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say Blake Decker is actually out there checking in with chat. Chris, looks like his internet went down. So unfortunately, Blake's not able to race tonight. So that is unfortunate, buddy. But hey, listen, there's always next week. We're going to miss you out there, though, buddy. Now, Tyler Dugan, I know that you talked about his paint scheme, Chris, the volunteer traditions. I believe that is Tennessee College, if I remember correctly, a college down in Tennessee. That's the T hat that Bill Dance used to wear back when I was a kid. I used to watch him on TV every Saturday. Yeah, that's one unfortunate. I mean, it is a big track, Chris, and the draft is going to come into play here, especially with these trucks, the way that the air moves off that back spoiler. So it's kind of interesting right now. Cozy, he's got one heck of a lead right now, but it looks like Ashton Slice, Tyler Dugan trying to work together to do what they had to do. And somebody who threw me off a little bit there with his new paint scheme this week, Chris, the 88 Jamie Walker in his B&C lawn and landscaping truck there with the Young Guns Motorsports. Used to seeing him something kind of Dale Jr.-ish, but I like that paint. I like the colors. They work good together. But right now, that's just
working this backstretch, Rick, and the only reason why I kicked in there is as soon as he crosses the start-finish line, we're going to go on board and have Michael take us for a lap. He's getting ready to do that now as he is starting to come out of 4, so we'll kick in and we'll watch the back half of this lap as we cross the start-finish line. Now let's watch how he does it here. Kind of lets it float up towards the wall, heading into 1 and 2, comes off from the gas. Lets it float down, not quite to the bottom lane, but you see the left side tires were underneath the white lines there. Floats it back out to the wall. See if he stays about the same lane than he does on 3 and 4. Stays about the same. Maybe comes off a little bit sooner. You see him wiggle that steering wheel just a little bit. Truck's getting a little bit loose. And he's across the start-finish line. That is 1.5 miles, courtesy of your leader, Michael Cozy Jr.
now this track is kind of interesting in how it runs, Chris. I mean, I like to think of it almost as Atlanta almost, but with a better racing surface. I mean, as we all know, Atlanta has a terrible old racing surface to chews up these tires. Kentucky's not so bad, but I mean, there's not really a lot of banking here. I mean, turns 1 and 2, you're only looking at around somewhere between, I think it's 17 degrees. Turns 3 and 4 is around 14. Into the tri-oval, it's 8 to 10. On the straights, it's only 4 degrees. So, you know, when you think about it, okay, well, these guys are on 1.5 miles, why is it getting off the gas? Well, that's why. There's not a lot of banking to keep these trucks where they need to be, so these drivers actually have to fight a little bit. They're feathering off the throttle, tapping the brake a little bit to keep in the lane that they want. I think as the race goes on, especially once the sun starts going down, we start going under the lights, I think the racing lines might move around a little bit, but right now, Michael Cozy doing exactly what we just saw him do, kind of staying mid-track, going through the corners, doing what he has to do, down by the apron. But I think all that's going to change as the nighttime starts coming into play.
Got a couple other people out there in MaxSpeedTV chat. Hello, how are you? Good to see you out there. Brian B, sorry you couldn't make the race tonight, but right now we're watching the 76. That's Marshall Newton. He's kind of falling back all of a sudden, Rick.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure.
Passed by Sam Baumgarten. Now he's Ian Habiak's working him.
I mean, I think a lot of this has to come down to, Chris, that we're on lap 19 of 200, so there is still a lot of racing left. I think a lot of guys are trying to save their tires, save their equipment to do what they have to do.
Very good racing here so far. Remember, these guys going to Pocono next Sunday. Ooh, that's going to be a long one, Rick. 200 laps at Pocono. It's going to be 300 miles next week at that tricky triangle.
That's going to be a good race, Chris. I mean, I'm excited about Kentucky here. I mean, especially with us starting the drive with the sun and going under the lights there later. But the tricky triangle, that's going to be fun. I mean, each of those 3 corners is totally different, and that's going to put a little bit of stress, I think, on the drivers, because I mean they've been on pretty big tracks here so far throughout the season. They've been doing a great job with it, but when you throw in a track like Pocono, these guys, you know, it's going to be kind of almost, I don't want to say a learning curve, but it's going to be interesting to see how they actually acclimate to that track and how they do over there.
Now, I'm seeing another story that kind of reared its head last week. The 01 Travis Brown still carrying that same paint scheme as it did last week. The one that has Tyler Dugan all over it. Now, I knew the story last week. Tyler Dugan ended up buying the track so that Travis was able to run it. Kind of sponsored him for the night, if you will. I don't know. Maybe it's the same thing here now. Or maybe he just likes the color, Rick.
Maybe, Chris. I mean, he had pretty good luck there. I mean, Travis is another one of the drivers that started out, and for anybody out there who watching it now live or watching it later throughout the week, if you are looking for a truck series to run, Blazing Pedals runs their entry league on Friday nights. You're going to be racing at the same tracks as the Sunday nights, same length, everything as the Sunday night guys. You go in there, you prove that you are a good, clean, respectable driver. You have a chance to move up into the Sunday night league, where Chris and I broadcast here live, obviously on MaxSpeedTV. So it's really cool. Travis brought another one of those. Tim Habiak, he was saying in chat earlier, I don't know how easy it is for you to find an angle, Chris, but if you look into the windshield of that number 01 Toyota Tundra, Tim's actually, he's right. He's driving with a skeleton face. It's kind of cool.
Why, yes. Yes, he is. All right, well, that's pretty cool. I dig that. Nice job, Travis Brown. Lap 24 of 200, Rick. You got to be thinking maybe it's about time right around the corner here for some pit stops. These guys definitely, well, I can't say definitely. They're most likely looking for a break at this point. You know, come down pit road, take your hands off the wheel while you get service. It's not a bad thing. It's just, you know, it's something that you really look forward to in the heat of a race. So I'm sure that's coming here around the corner. Laps are ticking by relatively quickly here tonight. Ooh, the 26. That's Tyler Gary, kind of scrapes the wall just a little bit. Keep an eye on the 26 for a moment.
And I think that just goes back to what you were just talking about, Chris. I mean, we got to be getting close to pit stops here, and these guys doing a fabulous job out here right now, Chris. I mean, 26, now 27 laps gone through, no cautions, good, clean racing, doing what they have to do right now. The 26, I've been watching him too. He is under pressure by the number 14 right now. That's James Mullins doing what he has to do, looking on the inside of the 26 to try to take over that position.
And with Chad Oxendine right behind those two trucks, you know he's watching, trying to figure out if he can do the same thing as the 14 just about has the 26 cleared, and does so now. Will the 26 fight back on the inside? No, he does not. Doesn't have the speed to carry through a crossover attempt.
Just as I'm going through chat, Chris, there, I want to give a little props out to Tim Habiak out there in chat. I know that he is spotting for his son Ian right now in that number 16 Toyota truck. Doing what he has to do, but that is the owner and the series sponsor here, TRJKarting.com, and he's absolutely right. for those people that maybe watch this don't see Chad afterwards, if you are looking for some cheap, good sim gear, even for sim racing, I know I have a pair of gloves, but you know, he sells a ton of shoes and gloves for sim racers. You know, the Alpine Star gloves start at 49 bucks. I actually spent $40 on a cool pair of autism gloves, themed gloves, because I know that that supports a charity that is very close to Tim's, you know, heart and everything, and that's what we like to do here at MaxSpeedTV and stuff, especially with Chris and I mean, that's just something that we love to do. So definitely head on over to TRJKarting. I mean, I'm going to be looking at purchasing a pair of sim racing or a pair of shoes also. I just got to figure out which ones I want. But Tim is a great guy. He helps out a lot of local racers and everything, so please head on over to TRJKarting. You can find them on Facebook, you can find them on Twitter, and give them likes and follows and everything, and definitely support the man.
Checking in again on Tyler Gary, the 26, as he is finding himself under attack once again, this time by Chad Oxenite in the 29. Chad gets into the left rear. The 26 goes up, the 01 into the wall. Oh my. Well, we knew that pit stops were around the corner. Didn't want to see it like this, Rick. We're going to go to the MaxSpeedTV instant replay. Take a look at this. Just happened to click onto it as the 29 and the 26 were setting to do battle. 29 went to the outside, snuck back to the inside. Tyler Garrick tried to come down and block. And the 01 got part of it as well, both trucks into the wall. Go back one more time, just to take another look here. Different angle. Make sure what I'm saying is correct, because it did look like the 26 went down to block. 29 stayed up high, comes back down, and yeah, it almost looked like the 26 may have come down. It collected Travis Brown in the 01.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate, Chris. Definitely not how these guys wanted to go in for pit stops, that's for sure.
Maybe not how they wanted to, but I guarantee you each one of them to a man was ready to come down pit road, and that's exactly what's happening now. After pit stops, we are going to have a little interview here. Right now we're on board the race leader 77, Michael Cozy Jr. As we watch his service, right sides go up. So it'll be 4 tires for Michael Cozy Jr. I believe all the trucks will be getting 4 tires as they fill up their fuel. Oh, Cozy with a blink. But he's right back very quickly. Ty Morosco did not come down pit road. He's going to be rejoining the tail end of the lead lap, would be my assumption there. Chris Williams did come down pit road, did not stop. May need to check that. I think he may have missed his pit stall, Rick.
My replay's not letting me find that information, my friend. Let's try to figure out what's going on with that number 42 truck, Chris. Damn, Baumgarten and the driver of the 42 truck. You got Chris and Rick up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey, man, how's the race going so far tonight?
It's going pretty good. Track's a little loose here, you know, after a few laps, but we're managing. Had a little damage there with the 24, but it's all good. Got her fixed. Going to try and get back up there in the top 10.
Well, there you go, buddy. You want to tell us a little bit of backstory there on your paint scheme?
The paint scheme is actually a original by Mark Arthur. If you take a good look at the back, it says in memory of Mark Arthur, and it says free the admins.
Well, that is awesome, brother. Hey, listen, I want to wish you luck. It looks like you're going to be starting in the 19th position, so you got a little bit of work to do, buddy, but good luck out there.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys.
And that was the driver of the 42, Sam Baumgarten, getting it done in memory of Mark Arthur.
So Chris got a little note from Race Control. The 29 is going to be receiving an EOL for that for causing that caution there. So Chad Axeline's going to have definitely some work to make up, Chris, as he goes up through the field once again. He's going to be starting in 21st position.
So Rick, this is going to be the first race. This is the first race of two that are doing this day to night transition. And I know I personally have been involved in a couple of them, and the thing that always gets me when I'm doing it is how cool it is to see that sun go down while you're racing, the different reflections coming through the windshield, the track conditions, you can feel them change, and it looks like, you know, it's still pretty bright out there right now, only on lap 34 of 200, but when this does start to change, it's going to change the complexion of this race and possibly give some other drivers a chance to catch Cozy and maybe even pass him.
Well, you're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, that's something that you and I, when the transition first came out, of course, we went on track and we tested it out, and it was just amazing. I mean, the graphics, you had the sun rays coming through your window, you were actually blinded for a second, just like you would be in real life, and it's just amazing. That's something that we're definitely going to have to watch out for tonight to see if that affects any of these drivers, but the way that they're going right now, I don't think they're going to have too much problem with it, Chris.
Yeah, as the pace car drops in, we're getting set to unleash these trucks once again. Michael Cozy Jr. on the pole. Green, green, green. The green flag is out. We're under race conditions again. And Cozy was able to hold on to that lead pretty easily. He does have Asher Slice right behind him in 68. Asher, I mentioned this earlier, this is kind of a little bit on the non-norm for Ashton. Usually he's running in the top 10, but usually not this close to the front. And here he is running in second spot tonight, man. That's awesome.
It is definitely awesome, Chris, but let me tell you right now, man, Michael Cozy just doing what he has to do, man. I mean, Mr. Restart, he knows how to get these trucks going. He knows how to get that restart, and he just likes putting gaps in between him and the truck behind him. I mean, it's not huge right now. Ashton Slice doing a heck of a job trying to get to the back bumper there in the number 77, and I just realized something kind of cool, Chris. If you look on the tailgate of that number 77, he does have a Vermont 88 sticker. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that, but that's pretty cool to see.
Huh. That's very interesting. As far as I know, we don't have an 88 here in the state, but we'll have to check that out at some point. This just in from Race Control. If Michael Cozy is able to win again here tonight, which honestly, I've never seen that in league racing. Four in a row would be just about unheard of. But if he's able to do it, Tim from TRJ.com is going to be giving him a new hoodie.
And let me tell you, he's going to join the ranks of the elite when he gets that hoodie, Chris, because it is one of the most comfortable hoodies. I mean, it is my Sunday wear as I watch the NASCAR racing and I hang out and lounge around the house, man. I love this thing.
So after that first caution of the night, it looks like Travis Brown may be done for the evening. I thought I saw a little puff of smoke, and it looks like he was the one that may have popped a motor. So Travis Brown out for the evening.
And that's quite sad, Chris. I mean, again, he's another one of the drivers that started out in the Friday night entry league. He proved that he was deserving to be here on the Sunday nights. He's had a couple of good races, Chris, but then he's also had a couple of really bad ones. That's unfortunate tonight, but hey, listen, he's going to get that truck loaded back up in the hauler. He's going to head home, back to the shop, get that thing ready for the Tricky Triangle next week.
Jamie Walker on the inside. Ashton Schleiss on the outside. They're fighting for position number 2. Walker right now has a slight advantage, but that outside lane should supply enough momentum to at least make them even up. Coming down the front stretch across the start-finish line, Ashton Schleiss not willing to give it up. Able to get to the door of the 88. Not quite enough. I don't believe the 88 should go around.
Well, there we go, Chris. We have it confirmed in chat. It's actually for Steve Goodwin 88, a sponsor of his. And as we know, talking to Mr. Cozy the last couple of weeks, he has a lot of sponsors. It doesn't look like tonight, though. He doesn't have one on his forehead. So I'm thinking that's why he's able to just tear away from the field. He has all of his sight tonight, so that's pretty cool to see.
The Vermont 88 decal, Steve Goodwin's. All right, hey, that's cool.
Yeah, we'll have to dig into that a little bit more. Chris and I are Vermont boys, so that's pretty cool to see on any truck out there. I mean, I know I've seen it a couple other times. Really never knew what it was because, like Chris said, we don't have a Route 88 or anything like that in the state. So that's pretty cool, though.
So Ashton Schleiss, after restarting second, he is falling back to 5th spot, Rick, in the 68. But he ties in behind Tyler Dugan in the 19. He's got the 95, Brandon Dennis, right behind him. Brandon Dennis silently staying in the top 5 for most of the night. Right now he's 6th, but the Caterpillar truck looking pretty good out there. As he actually drops down to the inside lane. He's going to be looking to put a challenge on, not able to do it with the Toyota.
We got a fan out there, the number 7, Aaron Ramon, Chris. George CM saying, go get that bread. Listen, that number 7, that's a different paint scheme tonight there. Looks like a Fallout 76. He's got Whiskey River down there. He's got the Fallout guy sitting there. Pretty cool. I like those colors, too. But right now, Aaron Ramon got a lot of work. He started this race in 21st position. He's sitting in 20th right now. He's looking to get by the number 86, Terry Foster, in that new Bud Light, man. That's another... I mean, these guys come out with the best paint schemes, Chris. They really do.
That's always really fun to kind of see what they're going to bring, and I love it, man. This is awesome.
I mean, that 86 Bud Light truck looks really good.
Let's take a peek. Oh, yeah. This is one I was talking about earlier. Very subdued colors, but it really does a very nice job. The blue really pops off that yellow. I dig it, man. Back up front, Michael Cozy leading the way and has for this entire race. Ty Morosco did lead one under caution, collecting that bonus point.
And as we can see, Chris, we talked about the points earlier in the broadcast there during the start. These guys are so close. I mean, 36 points up into the, from 13th up. So every little point definitely counts, and these guys, that's something that they pride themselves on, and they do. I mean, sure, they probably want to come down, do their caution, get 4 new tires, get some Sunoco racing fuel in that truck, but hey, listen, that 1 point is going to help big time come the end of the season.
Every point matters. Every position is a point.
Hey Skittles, thank you for showing up tonight. I know you're here earlier, but welcome back. It's good to see you out there in chat.
"47 laps done. 200 is the total. Michael Cozy has led 45 of them so far. He is working 46, and we're going to be working lap 48 as soon as he comes across the start-finish line. Michael Cozy seems to have this one well under control so far, Rick, but it's early on. 1.5 mile long track. Don't get too comfortable.
No, and I've actually been on board with the 88 Jamie Walker, Chris, watching his gap. It slowly creeps down a little bit. Right now it is almost 0.7 of a second there, but then it creeps up a little bit, but then it starts falling back down again. So he's definitely trying to catch up to the back bumper of number 77. Got a nice long race to do it, Chris. This is going to get interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah, pit stop 16 laps ago. So the tires right now really starting to feel a little different, Rick. You know, trucks are going to start to loosen up just a little bit, perhaps, along with the lighter fuel load. And you got to be careful getting back in that throttle. We're on board the 88 and the gyro cam, just so we can see just the banking of this track. It's pretty cool.
It is really cool, Chris. I mean, driving this track as a driver, it's a lot of fun. And, you know, it's kind of technical, not so much on some of the other ones. I mean, you do have to lift off the gas a little bit. You just got to roll through the corners and then you get back on it. But like you said, as these guys start ticking off the laps, that fuel load, it's going to start getting lower and lower and lighter and lighter. And if you get on it too much, the truck will spin around on you. You got to be careful and watch that.
'24 truck started this one. 22 still on track. Ty Marosco in 21st spot, the only truck, one lap down. Michael Cozy Jr. has led 48. Make that 49 after he crosses the start-finish line. And Jamie Walker is trying to close that gap. Right now, a half a second behind Walker. It's a battle for third spot between three trucks. You got James Mullins in the 14, Tyler Dugan in the 19, and Ashton Schleiss in the 68.
Now, I know the 19's been blinking a little bit here, Chris, so, I mean, I've been watching them. It looks like it kind of settled down a little bit, but at one point there, a few laps ago, he went off my screen there just for a split second, but he popped back on. That makes it dangerous for Ashton Schleiss. I mean, I know that there's a good gap in between the number 19 and the 68. I wonder if that's because Ashton just wants to give him enough room, make sure that his connection settles out, the truck stays on track, and it's good to go. But again, we talked about Ashton earlier. You know, he started this race in third. Right now, he's sitting in fifth position. He jumped on the gas really quickly at the beginning of this race, and like I said, that's not something that we're used to seeing from Ashton. Usually Ashton is just one of those guys that just kind of hangs out in the middle of the pack, does what he has to do, and then towards the end of the race, that's when he really pours on, does a good job. Right now he is sitting right now in the top 5. That's probably right where he wants to be.
Yeah, I'm happy with a top 5, so you know, I'm assuming other people would be too.
Well, I don't think he's going to be happy with the top 5, but I think he just wants to stay there. That way he doesn't have to work so hard as this race starts ticking down and we get closer towards the end. You know, it's going to be less room, and that's something that Ashton, I mean, he's not a complacent driver to the point where, okay, I'm in the top 5, that's where I'm going to stay. I really do expect him, as we start getting into maybe around lap maybe 125, 150 especially, to start pouring it on in that number 68 Icebreaker truck. We can take a second, thank everybody out there in MaxSpeedTV land watching us here with the Blazing Pedals TRJKarting Truck Series. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being active in chat. Chris and I love to see that, and we really do appreciate you. And I know the guys over at Blazing Pedals and TRJKarting.com really appreciate everybody out there.
On board, Noah Van Hoot's number 4 right now. Last week he had the biggest mover award, Rick, and tonight doing a pretty good job. He started 24th. He's currently working the track in 15th position, and he's got Dakota Todd and Dalton Kilrow right ahead of him, the 8 and the 24.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun watching to see how these
guys. Oh, the
guys
24
actually
goes around. Oh my! Dalton Kilrow went around, and I didn't catch what happened. We're going to go back on the Max Speed instant replay, take a peek at what happened. Just talking about him. He in the 8. Plenty of room in there. Oh, the 24 got loose, Rick. And we were just talking about that as well. And look who got into him, Sam Baumgarten. That's the second time those trucks had gotten together tonight. So the 24 gets loose, goes around. We're under caution. We're going to look at that one more time. I want to make sure I didn't miss something, but I think he just got loose.
And that's pretty much something that we just talked about there. about that, Chris, is, you know, as these trucks, they get lighter because of the fuel, the tires are starting to fall off, and that's when it's going to be very, very, very hard. I mean, you know, if you just tap that brake or get on that gas just a little bit too much, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, no. And at the tail end of the replay, we see Dalton Kilroe, smoke coming out of the back of the 24 truck, billowing as the race leaders come down pit road for service number 2. Brian, we appreciate the opportunity to come out every Sunday night and broadcast some racing. You guys definitely supply some intense action. We love it. Thank you. Tyler Gary staying out on track. Michael Cozy, race leader before the caution came out. Looks like he's going to be taking 4 in fuel, Rick.
I expect to kind of see that from pretty much everybody that comes down pit road, Chris. I mean, they definitely want those tires. They want to do what they have to do to try to put on some pressure on that number 77 right now.
So we're going to keep an eye on Tyler Gary. Tyler has not been up towards the front very much tonight. You see a little damage on the left rear of that 26 Chevrolet. Tyler trying to figure out how to march his way up to the front. And I don't know, this is probably just enough to lead a lap and then come down. These two had a heck of a battle last week.
That they did. I mean, those are two drivers, too, that have been looking for their break a little bit there, Chris, to do what they had to do. But right now, we still have a lot of laps left, but I'm not going to count anybody out except for the drivers that have parked their truck. I mean, right now we have the old one, as we talked about. Travis Brown definitely didn't have the night that he wanted. He is on his way back down to his shop, and of course Blake Decker also having that issue there. And the number 92 machine sitting right now 26 laps down. That's unfortunate. But right now, pretty much everybody. Dalton Kilroe looks like the only one that is going to be a lap down. I'm not sure. I'm thinking that his truck is toast, Chris, because it was definitely barbecue in there.
So some bad luck out of the 24 camp as Kilroe still on pit road, probably trying to swap out an engine. Rick, we've had 2 cautions for 5 laps, 142 laps to go, 3 different lead changes. Those lead changes happened under the caution. Otherwise, it's been a Michael Cozy Jr. show.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, you know, we can't count any driver out. I mean, like you said, there's 150 some odd laps left to go. So there's a lot of racing still to be done. But right now, you know, Cozy, he's the man to try to catch and beat in that Chevy Silverado.
And Tyler Gary does bring the 26 down pit road, so it's what I thought it was. He was trying to collect his bonus point for leading a lap, which he's now done. And he is going to come down pit road, relinquishing the lead to Michael Cozy Jr. And I'm out here watching chat, and Skittles is bringing up Wednesday night. And that's not something we've done yet, Rick, but watch for us here on MaxSpeedTV Wednesday, March 13th, I believe is the date, as Rick and I are going to be picking up Racing for a Cause on Wednesday nights. Short track action right here on MaxSpeedTV. Pace car lights are off, Rick. We're getting ready to send these guys back under green flag conditions. Michael Cozy, James Mullins, Tyler Dugan, and Ashton Schleiss make up the first 2 rows. And so far on these restarts, Cozy has been just unbelievable. He has been unstoppable on these restarts. And we look to see if that's going to happen again.
I mean, he's definitely got some good competition up there this time, Chris, with the 14 James Mullen getting ready to take on, find out when Cozy is going to go. But you also got the 19 Tyler Dugan out there, and then you got Ashton Slice right next to him. So this is going to get interesting to see. It's all going to be about who gets on it quicker, and obviously right now we are on the number 77. He's got the go button. He can press that whenever he's ready once that pace car gets off of the racing surface.
No, once the green flag waves.
The green flag waves. Yep, you're right. I'm sorry.
Did Cozy's computer bleep? You know what? I've seen that twice out of him tonight, so yes. And just a quick blip, but he is back on it now as we are under green Cozy with another excellent restart. James Mullins in the 14. Hello, James Mullins. Welcome to second spot. You've got Tyler Dugan, Ashton Schleiss battling it out for third. Right behind you, Schleiss to the outside, Dugan to the inside. And they settle it. Ashton Schleiss now in third. Tyler Dugan fourth. Behind them, it's 2x2 still. The 78 and the 95, that's Locklear and Brandon Dennis. They're trying to figure out position. They're still running side by side as we've been under the green flag now for 2 laps already, Rick. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, they're just pouring it on. I mean, the front row, that's exactly what they do, Chris. They get nose to tail. They get ready to do what they have to do. They don't mind seeing these guys racing a little bit behind them there. Aaron Bockover's kind of staying in line. He's got Chad Axendine, who's going to be looking on the inside there in the number 29 machine, trying to figure out what he's going to do. But right now, the 95 Caterpillar truck's going to hold up Aaron Bockover. That's going to allow Chad Axendine to get right up onto the inside. And it looks like Chad Axendine's going to be able to take over that spot from the 95 machine. Nope.
Oxendine received an EOL penalty earlier on in this race. He has worked his way back up to 7th spot. Oxendine may be a man on the mission.
I mean, we see that week in and week out from Chad Oxendine, Chris. I mean, he's one of those drivers that he does not give up. He just keeps going and going, does what he has to do. And right now, that number 29, Goodwrench Chevy, doing a fabulous job trying to work its way back up. Right now, he started this race in 8th, Chris. He is sitting in 7th position, so I don't think that EOL did too much.
He's got a fire lit under his seat. And speaking of fires, Ian Habiak in the top 10, in the 16. Ian doing a fantastic job tonight. And you know what? Tim is actually his spotter. And yes, Brian, Tim does watch these races. He's also spotting. He's a very busy man. So I'm sure he'll catch that message, and I'm sure he'll appreciate it just like we do. Ian Habiak getting passed by Jamie Walker. Jamie, who's been up front for most of the night, has a little work to do. He's just crawled into 10th spot, getting around Ian Habiak, pushing him back to 11th. Corey Sherman, we haven't talked a lot about Corey. He's been kind of quiet tonight in that 3 truck, but he's sitting there in 12th spot. Sam Baumgarten. Well, look, we've seen he's been in it a couple of times. Truck don't look bad, though. It's got to be that My Little Pony paint job helping him out, as he is running 13th right now, Rick.
Yeah, Sam's definitely doing. I mean, he had a little bit of an issue there earlier, but he's got it poured right back on. And it's kind of cool to see that My Little Pony truck back out there on track right now, Chris. He's got Noah Van Hoot sitting there in the number 4, trying to catch up to the back bumper, trying to do something there with that number 4 monster machine. Looking on the inside right now as they're going down through turns number 3. Not going to be able to have what it takes to really catch up to Sam Baumgarten right now. Sam's pretty comfortable right now sitting in number 13th position.
Biggest race mover so far, William Locklear, currently running in 5th spot. That's up 15. And you got a tie between the 3 truck. That's Corey Sherman. And the 4 truck, Noah Van Hoot. They've raised 10 positions so far in this one, Rick, and they are looking good out there tonight.
They definitely are, Chris. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, again, we're at a 1.5 mile cookie cutter track, and that leaves a lot of room for these guys. I mean, it doesn't really matter where you start the race. I mean, as the race goes on, you're going to be able to move up or down, and they're doing a fabulous job.
So Cozy Jr. up front. He's got a challenge this time, though. James Mullins hasn't let him get away too far yet. Gap under 0.3 of a second. So Mullins able to hang on. This track may be changing just a little bit.
Well, I mean, the sun's starting to go down, Chris. I mean, I've noticed a lot of changes there on my machine on how everything is looking, and it is definitely starting to get darker out there. So as that goes on, we got some shade out on the track right now. So it's going to get interesting to see how this goes, but these guys are doing a good job.
Still sunny out there, but you see the sun going down in turns 3 and 4 as we look at the front end of James Mullins. Mullins, really, the gap hasn't changed. 0.266 over the last couple of laps. So Mullins is starting to find some speed at that 14 Silverado. Take a look a little further back. Terry Foster in the 86. He's got the 7 of Aaron Ramon right behind him. And it looks like Ramon may be trying to make a pass right now on Terry Foster. Foster really doesn't hold him up. He moves up the track just a little bit. Oh, look at this. He's fighting back on the outside in the 86, Rick.
You're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, this goes back to what we talked about earlier in the broadcast there with, you know, this track is kind of a multi-lane track. I mean, some guys like to race in the middle. Some guys like to be up towards the wall. A lot of guys like to be down towards the apron there. And that's exactly what we're seeing. I mean, the 7 was able, Aaron Ramon was able to get around the number 86, Terry Foster, but Terry's not done quite yet. You saw that he was going for a little bit of a run there, and he's fallen off just a little bit, but I expect to see Terry definitely putting some pressure back onto that number 7 truck.
Speaking of pressure, James Mullins looking to put some pressure on Michael Cozy Jr. That gap, Rick, just over a tenth of a second. So Mullins has maybe found something here. And Michael is going to have to adjust his line in order to keep that 14 off the 14 definitely faster at this time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is something that Cozy hasn't had to really deal with all night so far tonight, Chris. We're on lap 72 of 200. But James Mullen, the number 14 Monster Energy Chevy Silverado, doing a good job trying to figure out what he has to do to get around him. And I think he's been watching enough that he's going down below the apron. And definitely, he's got it on the inside right now, the 77.
Yeah, if he can keep the 77 up just a little bit, James Mullins may lead this lap. James Mullins to the inside. This is for the lead. And he has him, Rick, by a nose. And then Cozy fights back through 3 and 4 now.
And these guys are just drag racing right now as they're coming out of turn 4, Chris.
At the line, still Cozy. But Mullins is right there on the gas coming into turns 1 and 2. Oh, Mullins gets a little tight, has to get off the gas a little bit more, maybe touch the brakes as he almost got into the 77. Still a drag race down the backstretch though, as these trucks are even. James
right now,
Mullins to the front, man.
Yep, that inside lane definitely working for Mullins. Ooh, gets a little bit loose there. The 77 just tapped the bumper, no damage. Gave him actually a little bit of a boost right now. But I expect to see the 77 try to work on his way probably onto the inside, Chris. But right now, James Mullen leading the pack.
Mullins credited with leading that last lap, and now he's just got to take a breath and run the line that has brought him to the front. Michael Cozy working his way back as the 68 of Ashton Slice is starting to catch the back bumper. Mullins pulling away. Michael Cozy, something's going on.
And I'm wondering if maybe his tires are just starting to go away, Chris. I mean, like I said earlier, he hasn't had much pressure. Now all of a sudden Mullins, as he's coming up through, putting a lot of pressure on that 77, maybe had to race a little bit hard. And the next guy who's going to be taking advantage of that, I think, is going to be Ashton Slice on that number 68 truck. Got a little ways to go there. I saw that he was up closer towards the back end of Cozy, but he kind of just hanging out. Maybe he's just saying, hey, these guys are racing a little hard right now. We're only on lap 76 at 200. I'm just going to hang back and do what I do.
The 14, your race leader right now, James Mullins, looking good out there in the 14. Started in 4th tonight. He's now led 3 laps, but Cozy Jr. looking to the inside. Does he have a run? No. Goes back up to the top side. Mullins lives to fight another day as he is still in the race lead here heading into 3 and 4. While that's all happening, 3rd position Ashton Slice, 4th position Tyler Dugan. They're starting to catch the back bumpers of these guys, Rick.
You're absolutely right, Chris. These guys doing exactly what they have to do. I mean, Ash Slice right now getting up closer to the back bumper of the number 77. James Mullins there got a little squirrely there, and it was because the 77 Cozy was up towards the wall. And, looks like Cozy at that time took the lead back, Chris, but I don't think he's going to hold it for long. That number 14 is still on the move to try to figure out something on the inside. We got Ashley Slice in the 68 moving up, trying to figure out what these guys are going to do. Tyler Dugan's sitting there right behind him, trying to figure out who he's going to go with.
Slice looks like he's going to stay on the top side, follow Cozy around, and that may leave the 14 of James Mullins out to dry, but there's a slightly different line that Slice is running right now, and it almost looked like Mullins was in the way to run that line. So Ashley Slice now looking pretty good. The 14 may be going backwards.
It's going to be interesting to see how this pans out, Chris, right now. We just saw Tyler Dugan move way down below the apron there as he's crossing the start-finish line. He got a lot of speed there, but as he came back up on the track, he lost a little bit. But the 19, he is looking to get up from 4th place right now to figure out what he wants to do. And I think we're going to be seeing some pretty big moves here with the front runners.
Some awesome racing, right? Oh, look at that. Cozy drops down in front of the 14. That allows Ashton Slice to go by. The 14 slows way down, loses 2 positions. Slice and Dugan go right by him. Mullins looked like he hit the brake pedal, maybe not comfortable running where he was, and decided to get out of there because he is coming back up to speed on the backstretch. But wow. Michael Cozy, your race leader once again, and Ashton Slice behind him. Tyler Dugan running in 3rd. James Mullins actually catching the back bumper again of Tyler Dugan, so I don't know what happened. I don't know if he maybe had an itchy foot or something. Who knows? Meanwhile, as we've been watching the top 4, William Locklear sitting there in 5th spot in the 78. He started in 20th position tonight, up 15. Chad Oxendine running in 6th position. He started in 8th tonight, did have an EOL penalty, and he has worked his way back up right to 6th spot. Behind him, Jamie Walker. He's running in 7th. He started in 6th tonight, and he kind of is fighting back from, I don't know what he's fighting back from. All of a sudden, he was kind of in the back for a little while. It looks like he had a bad pit stop the last time through. Brandon Dennis in the 95. He's currently running in 8th position. He started in 5th. Aaron Bockover, points leader, coming into the night, needing a really good race to try and stay there. And the 44 is doing what he can. He is in the top 10 right now, running 9th. Marshall Newton in the 76. Hello, Marshall. You started in 10th. You're running in 10th. That 76 looking pretty clean. Oh, going around Aaron Bockover. Bockover loses position.
And man, the 76 of Marshall Newton really poured it on there, Chris. I'm not exactly sure if the 44 maybe let off the gas a little bit or maybe slipped off his pedal or something, but it looked like he just kind of let him move by. Now, obviously, we have a lot of laps left to go. We got about 117 right now to go, Chris. So these guys that are kind of hanging back, just like we saw Mullins do earlier, you know, maybe they're not comfortable. Maybe they're like, hey, listen, go ahead of me. Let me do my thing. Leave me alone. And, you know, I'll see you back when we get a little bit closer towards the end of this race.
Yeah, it's almost like they're testing their trucks right now, right? Anyways, we continue on through the lineup. Running in 11th, Corey Sherman. He started 22nd tonight, so he's up 11 spots. Ian Habiak, Father Tim, is a live spotter for him. Ian doing a good job. Currently running in 12th spot. Did start in 11th spot tonight, but that truck is clean. Noah Van Hook started 24th. He's currently running 13th. Sam Baumgarten, he got into it a little bit with Dalton Kilroe, but Sam is out there. He's running in 14th spot. Hello. Is that the that was the My Little Pony paint job? I almost said Hello Kitty because Mark was, you know, always running one or the other, it seemed. Jeff Hartline running in 15th spot, but he's got Aaron Ramon on his outside looking to make a pass. Aaron Ramon does get around. Dakota Todd, last week was his first race on Sunday night with these guys. Dakota running in 17th spot. He did start 23rd, so he's moving up. Ty Marosco. Ty was actually down a lap earlier on in this race. Not anymore. Ty Marosco running 18th. Terry Foster, that nice looking yellow and blue, number 86. He is running in 19th spot. Started in 18th, so just kind of keeping it clean out there. Chris Williams in the 50. He is running in 20th. Tyler Gary, he's the only truck one lap down that's on track right now. And Dalton Kilroe still on pit road, still getting service, trying to maybe make a return to this one after an engine swap over. Rick, that brings us back to the race leader, Michael Cozy Jr.
You're absolutely right, Chris. And a lot of people are probably going, "Hey, why is Kilrow or why is the 24 truck still out there? You know, doing what he has to do." Kilrow, you know, he's letting his crew put that engine in, man. He's gonna go back out there and race some laps. I mean, we saw it last week. A couple other drivers did that. I mean, Dalton came in tonight in points in 7th position, Chris, and he's actually tied with 7th with Paul Coleman Jr. So he definitely wants to get back out there, run as many laps as he possibly can for points. He doesn't, you know, he's not going to be happy just doing that. I mean, obviously, he's probably not going to be able to move up anywhere, but he still wants to get those laps put in and do what he has to do. But that is unfortunate right now for the 24 machine, still sitting there letting his crew put in that engine.
Yeah, every single point counts. And you said he was tied with Paul Coleman Jr., which he was coming into the night. Paul Coleman not in this race, Rick. So obviously that means Kilrow has an opportunity here. He has to take advantage of it. The only way to do that is to be out on track.
Yeah, he definitely wants to finish this race, Chris. Even, you know, it doesn't matter how many laps down he is, as long as he can take the checkered, he's going to be happy. And right now, I mean, Coach Jr. just kind of taking off with everything. I'm kind of sitting back here with 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right now to see what's going on. Ashton Slice kind of leading this little pack here. They're just kind of nose to tail right now. James Mullins sitting there going, "Hey, this 14 truck, it wants to go." So I'm going to be looking on the inside. I'm going to move back up, work with you guys. But I think we're going to expect to see a move out of the number 14 truck pretty soon, Chris. And right now, the 19, Tyler Dugan, getting a really good run, getting really up close to the number 68 truck, trying to figure out what he wants to do as they're coming into the corner. I think these guys are just going to kind of work with each other, Chris.
Yeah, 3 trucks definitely faster than 1 in a draft, as long as you have the right line. You have to have the right line, or else that extra speed doesn't really matter. And these guys are trying to figure that out right now. And you're right. The 14 did take a peek to the inside of Tyler Dugan, and he just did it again. So maybe he wants to lead this. It's possible. My feeling with drafting has always been, if I'm 3rd in a line of 3 trucks and we're not catching him, maybe I should move up, or maybe the guy ahead of me should move up, and let's try a different line. And they may have been setting up to do that, but not going to happen. Ashton Slice stays right there in 2nd spot. The 14, James Mullins, looking to the outside of Tyler Dugan right now, Rick.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, I've raced with you enough, Chris, and I know how you race, and that's exactly what we like to do. And also what you and I will do, too, when we're out on track, and maybe what these guys are trying to think of doing, is let's start leapfrogging a little bit, you know? Let me get by you, let me up into line, and then we'll just keep working our way up. I mean, right now, that gap back from Michael Cozy Jr., 1.233 seconds, Chris. That's a huge gap.
Yeah, they got a lot of time to make up here. Lap 93 of 200, Rick. So we've got some time to go, 107 laps. But Ashton Slice is in 2nd, and James Mullins did go around Tyler Dugan, and it looked like Dugan dropped down low to let that happen. So maybe Dugan's thinking the same thing. Well, if I can't get there behind him, maybe I can get there behind you. You try. But now Mullins has to try and get around Slice and see if the 3 of them can catch up that way. While they're doing that, though, William Locklear in 78, he's starting to catch the tail end of that pack.
And he's about a half a second behind Chris, doing what he has to do, trying to figure out if he can get up there and get in the mix. And that's what Cozy's not going to want to see. He doesn't want to see more trucks get in line, because they could definitely pour it on and try to get back up to him.
James Mullins in the 14 to the inside of Ashton Slice, looking for 2nd spot. Not able to do it through 3 and 4. Tyler Dugan goes way low.
Yeah, Brian D's in chat, Chris, talking a little smack. The only reason why Cozy's up front is because I'm not there tonight. We miss you, buddy, but hey, listen, we appreciate you and everybody else that's out there watching us live here on this Sunday night from Sparta, Kentucky Speedway. As Chris and I bring you all the action of the awesome Blazing Pedals TRJKarting.com Truck Series. These guys are putting on a heck of a race, Chris, and we're almost to the halfway point.
Yeah, James Mullins now, he goes from 4th to 2nd in the last few laps. Mullins does have a fast truck, and with Ashton Slice pushing him like he is right now, we might see that gap start to close, so we'll keep an eye on that. 1.5 seconds right now. We'll see if that closes in the next few laps. As we go back and take a look at Jamie Walker. Jamie is running in 6th spot. That's exactly where he started. And that 88 is very fast, and it kind of surprised me to see him running in 6th spot. He may be saving something for a little later on. Jamie Walker, very good driver. Chad Oxendine, we've talked about him. He started in 8th spot. He's currently running in 7th. Did have an EOL, sent him to the back of the field after the first caution. Has worked his way back up to 7th spot. So certainly Chad has had a very interesting night. Brandon Dennis sitting out there in the 95. He started in 5th spot. That Caterpillar truck very clean here tonight, running in 8th spot. Aaron Bockover, current points leader, running in the top 10 in 9th position, and Marshall Newton rounding out the top 10. And I wanted to go take a look at Michael Cozy, as we were talking about it just a second ago, to see what that interval would do, Rick, and it's growing. That interval back to 2nd, 1.95 seconds into the corner.
Cozy definitely found the line around this track, Chris, and he is showing it to everybody right now. He is just on fire.
So definitely with older tires, Cozy looks to be the absolute class of the field, as we just went past halfway done with this race, lap 100 of 200. And Rick, if my math is right, that means we have 150 miles left to settle this one out.
You're absolutely right, Chris. And I mean, we saw how fast these 100 laps have already gone by. These guys are putting on one heck of a show here from Kentucky tonight, doing what they have to do. I think we're in for an even better second half.
Mullins peels off, coming down pit road. The 14 decides he's going to be the first one to collect service, and he is coming down pit road right now. Michael Cozy still up front. Tyler Dugan, Ashton Slice, and that's going to move William Locklear up to 4th position. Jamie Walker into the top 5. So we thought right around 43 laps would be about the right call here, Rick, and that is exactly when the 14 decided to come down pit road.
Yeah, he definitely has his strategy figured out, Chris. He's got his service in. He's getting back out there onto the racing surface.
So the 14 will come back out 1 lap down, but the only truck to not have service yet, Brandon Dennis in the 95 decides he's going to come down pit road. And I think that might start a string of pit road takers. Michael Cozy going to have to be careful not to stay out there too long on those old tires, Rick. There is about a 2 to a 2.5 fall off here after this many laps. And staying out there on those old tires, you're going to lose time on track.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Chris. As the 77 comes into turn number 2 into the backstretch, they're heading into 3. I bet you that's exactly what he's thinking about right now. It's like, I don't know if I really want to stretch it out for too long. I would be surprised. Yeah, he's going to go by this time. That's kind of an interesting, that's going to be interesting.
1.5 seconds exactly. James Mullins faster than Michael Cozy on their last lap. So, yeah, you don't want to be giving up that kind of time on track. Certainly right now, the best thing that could happen would be for another caution for Michael Cozy. Not that we want to see it, but now we've got a couple more drivers on pit road taking some service. So this is all happening behind the leader. And man, he's going to have to be careful. Because like I said, 1.5 seconds, that is a huge amount of time around this track.
It definitely is, Chris. And one thing that I'm kind of shocked to see is that the 19 and the 68 didn't come in that time by. Maybe they're out there just trying to do what they think is right. But man, if I were them, I'd be coming in for some new tires. So after that pit stop, James Mullen, number 14, Chris, he has fallen back to 16th position. I don't expect to see him down there for too long. He is the first truck 1 lap down.
Under green, you can't help but to go a lap down here. And the real trick will be, when does Cozy come down? If he waits too long, Rick, what'll happen is this thing will cycle around him, and James Mullins is catching. So, actually, right now, the gap back to James Mullins is 15.599 seconds. If Cozy were to come down pit road right now, he'd lose the lead, and by a lot.
It's just a game with the tires, Chris. If he's holding out now, I mean, that's going to have James Mullins. He's out there racing his way back up, like we said. He was in 16th position, so he's going to be using up those tires. I mean, but still, it's just kind of interesting on how this is all playing out here.
I see a chat asking how Newton is doing, and I'm going to tell you right now, not the best time to ask, as we are in the middle of some green flag pit stops. But Newton right now is being scored in 9th position, and he is actually, where is he? Right there. He is on pit road, so he is taking service. And the more people that take service, Rick, the more speed Cozy is losing. This is going to be very interesting how this one cycles out. James Mullins, the first truck to come down pit road, is up to 9th position. Yes, 1 lap down, but only 12 seconds between him and leader Michael Cozy Jr. See the 3 truck coming out after having service. That's Corey Sherman making his way back out onto the track. Corey Sherman down 2 laps. So Michael Cozy still staying out there. At this point, I'm going to say he's kind of committed, looking for that caution. Until he's about to run out of fuel, I don't know that he can afford to stay in. He is hoping for caution.
That's almost like what he's definitely doing, Chris. And I'm actually kind of shocked that we haven't seen the 19 Tyler Dugan and the 68 Ashton Slice work together, figure out, and go down pit road. I mean, Cozy has such a lead there that Cozy's going to go around, the pit lane entrance, and these guys are going to have enough time to sneak in there. Look where the number 14 truck is. He's doing what he has to do. James Mullins right now already worked his way up to the 9th position, Chris.
Yeah, and as if we needed a demonstration on new tires versus old, the 3 truck just passed Cozy like he was standing still. Corey Sherman getting one of his laps back the old-fashioned way, passes the leader, and is out of the picture just like that. Cozy definitely slowing down. His lap time's now almost 34 seconds. To give you an idea, his best lap, a 32.410.
And I just watched the 14 and the 88, Chris, catch up to Tyler Dugan there in the 19th. He's sitting in 2nd position right now, but these guys, one went on the outside, one went on the inside, and just like you were saying, blew right by him like he was sitting still with these fresh tires, man. So that might put it into Tyler Dugan's head, hey, maybe it's time for me to think about maybe going down, but right now he's just doing what he's doing. And this is interesting.
Now the 14 and the 88 working very well together, trying to get around this track just as quickly as possible. And Michael Cozy decides enough is enough. I've given up enough time. I'm coming down pit road. Tyler Dugan going to follow him along with Ashton Slice.
Yeah. Finally, they're like, okay, enough's enough.
And that leaves Chad Oxendine out there, just behind William Locklear. Locklear just led his first lap of the race. Bonus point for him. And Locklear says, okay, I led my lap. I'm done. Chad Oxendine not able to stay out. He's coming down pit road. That cycles us back to Aaron Ramon. Aaron decides he's coming down pit road. That leaves the 86, Terry Foster. Will Terry stay out to lead a lap? It looks like he will. Terry Foster looking to lead a lap here tonight. got to get around the pit road. So those guys were pitting ahead of him on the start-finish line. So if Terry can stay out there for one more lap, man, he's going to lead a lap here tonight. Pick up that all-important point that we've talked about pretty much all night long, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, you know, people sit there and they think, oh, listen, it's only just 1 point. Well, 1 point matters. And as these guys are going around, I mean, the points are so close, Chris. I mean, again, you know, we were talking from 1st to 13th. It's only separated by 36 points. So every point definitely helps these guys. And that's exactly what they're doing.
How many laps are left by my count? 85. My math is suspect sometimes, but I'm pretty sure I'm right there. So Terry Foster did lead that lap. He collects that bonus point. Now it's a matter of how long does he stay out there, Rick. He's been out there for 57 laps. Those tires are getting very old. That fuel load very light. That truck feeling like it wants to come around on you when you get back into the gas pedal. It's going to be very interesting. Behind him, James Mullins. James Mullins running in second position on the lead lap. Jamie Walker right behind him. Then it's Brandon Dennis. And then Michael Cozy. So Cozy right now, by staying out, when Terry Foster comes in for service, is going to be in 4th spot. But he's got a little while to wait as that 86 keeps on trucking around this track. Terry Foster liking up front. He's led 3 laps now.
Yeah, I mean, the list just grows, Chris. I mean, obviously, Cozy right now leading 105 laps. You got Mullins, who led 4. Foster has, you know, he's leading. You got Locklear got his point. Gary got his point. Morosco. So we've definitely, I mean, right now we've had 8 lead changes. And you're right, we're about 84 laps left here. We've only had 2 cautions so far, Chris, for 6 laps. These guys are definitely showing how to get around Kentucky tonight.
Terry Foster leads another one, stays out there. 60 laps so far he's been out there, Rick. Unbelievable job by the 86. Fuel conservation at its finest. You know that thing's got to be running on fumes at this point.
Yeah, I'm sure he's definitely, his crew chief's probably screaming in his ear like, hey, listen, you got to come down. You got to get some Sunoco racing fuel, and we got some nice, sticky Goodyear tires down here for you as he's coming down pit road right now, Chris. And as you notice, the sun is starting to set, so these drivers, you know, they're going to be putting up with the sun in the eyes there for a little bit, and then that track's really going to cool off, and that's where things are going to get fun and interesting.
James Mullen picks up the lead, led that last lap. He's got Jamie Walker in the 88 right behind him. Jamie Walker may be a little faster right now. We talked about him earlier. He is normally a very fast driver. He was sitting back in 5th or 6th spot before all these pit stops happened, and now he is on the back bumper of James Mullins. Walker looking to try and lead a lap.
I'm actually on board, Chris, with James Mullins and that number 14 in his cockpit just to see. And definitely, I mean, the light is playing tricks right now as he's going around the corners, doing what he has to do. As he's hitting the backstretch there, it's coming through. I just want to see how bad it is hitting these guys in the helmet visor. And oh yeah, you're starting to get the glare there on the dashboard, Chris. This is going to get real fun for these guys.
Yeah, it's going to take probably 15 or 20 laps or so before the track loses some of that glare. And as I was talking, Jamie Walker in the 88 goes around James Mullins. Jamie Walker looking to lead this one going down the backstretch. Walker has not led a lap yet, looking to change that as he goes through 3 and 4 right now, setting up for that front stretch. And Jamie Walker does, in fact, lead that lap. So Jamie Walker adds himself to the list of drivers who have led a lap here.
And that's something that we expected to see all night tonight, Chris. Jamie Walker came in here. He qualified 6th. Now he's leading the pack and around. You know, he was just kind of conserving, I think, when he was sitting back there, just doing what he had to do. Jamie Walker, like you said, now up to the front of the pack, doing what he has to do, where he wants to be. And we've seen him here a few times this season so far.
Yeah, Walker, very good driver, and he just hasn't had the luck maybe to finish where he wanted to. But right now, that new paint job, Jamie Walker is leading the way. James Mullins second. Michael Cozy is in third, but he's got a little work to do to catch up. Now, his tires are a little bit newer, so I expect that he will catch the back bumper of James Mullins in, let's say, probably 10 laps or so would be my thought, if speeds haven't changed too much. But with the track changing the way it's going to, we don't know what that's going to do. Maybe these guys like the track the way it is right now, and maybe they're running really fast laps compared to what Cozy can. That's all going to work its way in here. We're going to figure that out very quickly, actually, Rick.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what exactly happens, Chris. I mean, these guys, like you said, you know, they've run 124 laps. They found their line, what they want to do, but that could change as the sun goes down, the lights turn on, and the track temperature's cool. The air temperature is going to cool, so it's going to be fun to see how this all works out.
Jamie Walker now starting to open up a pretty good lead. He's got about a 0.4 of a second lead over James Mullins. Then we got to drop back about 2 seconds behind Mullins to find Michael Cozy Jr. Brandon Dennis is running in 4th spot. He started in 5th place tonight. Ashton Slice and Tyler Dugan still on track together, running nose to tail. Slice right now in 5th, Tyler Dugan in 6th. William Locklear, we saw him lead a lap or two, and he is currently running in 7th with Chad Oxendine actually trying to get around him right now. Those two trucks came down pit road at the same time. Then it's back to points leader Aaron Bockover, again looking to try and have a very good finish tonight, try and preserve that points lead. In the 44, running in 9th position, Marshall Newton. Started in 10th, he's running in 10th. Just kind of quietly out there. It looks like he's actually going for a pass right now on Bockover, Rick. Ian Habiet started in 11th. He's currently running in 11th. He's kept that 16 very clean tonight. The TRJKarting.com Toyota Tundra out there looking good. Sam Baumgarten in the 42. He started in 17th. He's currently in 13th. Looks like Ty Morosco actually going around him right now in that Whoppers car. Oh, there's $1. And then it's kind of the 86 and the 8. The 86 is Terry Foster. Now he's down a lap, but the 8 truck of Dakota Todd is not. And Dakota trying to follow Ty Morosco through the corners to try and get ahead of that 42. The 86 almost gets into the 42, stays off. Wow, that was close racing right there. Michael Cozy just checking in. He is in 3rd spot behind James Mullins. The gap right now, 0.3 of a second between 2nd and 3rd place. Lap 120, 9 of 200. He's got to catch him before he can pass him, but right now Cozy looking good, trying to do that. And that's allowing the 88 to kind of put a little buffer in between them, as he's got the 97 of Jeff Hartline 1 lap down between himself and 2nd place runner James Mullins in the 14, but Michael Cozy definitely on the back bumper now, Mullins. Now Mullins was faster than Cozy in that last run, but this time it looks like Cozy may have his number as he drops down to the inside, heading into turns 3 and 4. Michael Cozy looking for 2nd spot. All tied up, and we've got a lap down truck that may be blocking a little bit some of the racing that's happening. And the 14 able to negotiate through, maintain 2nd spot. I gotta believe Cozy gave that a little bit of room there. So I'm gonna say good job to Michael Cozy. Definitely gave enough room for the 14 to get around that lap down truck of Jeff Hartline. And Cozy then comes back to the inside of James Mullins. James Mullins under attack heading into the corner from Michael Cozy Jr. Michael Cozy has led 105 laps here tonight of the 131 that's run. Jamie Walker has now led 10 laps. And Cozy looking for more as he gets around Mullins. Cozy Jr. around Mullins for second. Jamie Walker has a 7/10, almost 8/10 of a second lead over Michael Cozy Jr. We're going to see how long that lasts as Cozy on fire right now. James Mullins trying to stay on the back bumper. I don't know if he can right now. That 77 does have about 10 laps on those tires of James Mullins, so that makes a huge difference here. But with the sun really going down, you start to see the shadows going across the track now. Pretty much all the way around this corner, you don't see any sunlight on track. And that's going to be the case all the way around the track now as the sun definitely has fallen.
And you know, Chris, iRacing's done a great job with these day-night transitions. I mean, it's just beautiful as a driver to see as you're driving around, the sun starts setting, you know, it glares off your windows and everything. And, you know, it's going to be interesting. But, man, we just saw the 77 get really, really good run there on the 88, Chris, getting right up towards the back bumper.
Yeah, this is where those tires really come back and help him now. So Michael Cozy looking for a possibility of passing Jamie Walker for the lead. Jamie Walker going to try to battle it off, but with the difference in the time that they've been on the tires, probably not going to be able to do it as Cozy goes down to the inside and Walker just kind of lets him go. We'll look to tuck in behind him maybe and try and save some time here. As I say that, of course, he stays up, tries to battle back on the outside, but won't be able to do it. He'll recognize that. So he falls into line behind Michael Cozy. And Cozy is running a slightly different line. He's running a little bit higher in that corner than Jamie Walker was. That's going to allow him to kind of keep a little bit more momentum, and that is big. Anytime you're not scrubbing speed, you're keeping it to the wheels. The more wheel speed you have, the faster your truck's going. The faster your truck's going, the more likely you are to stay up front, Rick.
You're absolutely right. Right now, we're on lap 136 of 200. Michael Cozy Jr. reclaims the lead.
You hear how long these guys are off the gas pedal through the corners. A little longer than I expected, but you know, the track was very warm. I'm sure it's cooled off a bit by now, but still giving them a challenge on these corners. We're going to go on board Michael Cozy Jr. We did this earlier on just to kind of take a look at his race line. We're going to see if it's changed at all. We're on board Michael Cozy Jr. And he's keeping those left side tires kind of right on that white line. One lane up, which is exactly where he was at the beginning of this race. And on turns 3 and 4, he is running a little higher than he was earlier on the race. So his line has changed just a little bit. This is actually giving him some more speed. He's able to come off a little bit straighter through that front stretch. And that definitely allows for a little bit more speed. You see 172, 173 miles an hour. Asking about point standings, here they are. Aaron Bachhover, driver of the 44 truck. He is actually the race leader tonight. He's running in 11th spot right now. Ashton Schleiss is second in points. Tyler Gary, Michael Cozy Jr. fourth. Tyler Dugan, Marshall Newton, Paul Coleman Jr., who did not make a start tonight. Dalton Kilroe, who tried to fix his truck, ended up pushing it behind the wall, will not come back out on track. So Kilroe 22nd. William Locklear in 9th, Corey Sherman 10th. Actually, Sherman and Jamie Walker tied up. So points are very, very tight here. And unless I'm wrong, Rick, I believe after tonight we're a third way through the season.
I do believe you are correct, Chris. I mean, the season has just been flying by. Next week, race number 6 is going to be Pocono. Then we're going to be heading to a track that this is going to be fun, okay? March 10th, you got to mark your calendars right now. Daytona International Speedway road course with these trucks. That is going to be fun. That's going to be race number 7. Then we're heading over to Darlington and Texas Motor Speedway, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Homestead, Miami is going to be race number 11, Chris. And then we'll probably be off for a week or two as these guys do something really cool. What they do for their championship race, they take all the tracks that they have ran throughout the season. They let the drivers vote on where the championship race is going to be. I'm looking forward to that because we've had some great racing. I mean, so far we've hit Michigan where Tyler Gary was the first winner of the season. And then we went over to ISM Raceway where Michael Cozy Jr. won. Talladega where Michael Cozy Jr. won. And then Gateway Motorsports Park last week where Michael Cozy Jr. won, and looking to do it again tonight here in Kentucky.
Yeah, and Cozy is up front, and as Race Control told me, if he's able to win tonight, Tim from TRJKarting.com is going to be sending him over a hoodie. So certainly Michael Cozy Jr. has something to fight for here tonight.
And then there's going to be 2 of us that are nice and comfortable, Chris, and you're not going to be one of them, but...
yeah, I gotta. It's actually, it's to be honest with you, it's in my shopping cart. I just have to complete the transaction. Tyler Gary, who did win the first race of the season, he's running 3rd in points right now, not having a very good night. Tyler is running in 21st position. He's 3 laps down in the 26th. And he kind of foretold that last week. He said, this is not my track. And here he is, kind of proving it, unfortunately. Jamie Walker, currently 2nd place truck, going around Tyler Gary in the 26 on the outside. Gary fights back a little bit, but boy, he's just had he's just not used to seeing it when he's down like this. It's horrible. It makes you feel bad because you know he's so talented, as is everybody that's racing in this thing. But it's a shame to see somebody you know can do a lot better just having a real tough go of it. You know who's not, though? Michael Cozy Jr. Michael has led 115 laps of the 145 completed, Rick, and he is looking pretty good. He doesn't care if the sun's up, sun's down, lights are on, lights are off. He's doing a fantastic job here tonight.
Yeah, he definitely is, Chris, and it's going to be hard to catch and try to make a pass on him right now. But, man, I mean, if you guys haven't yet, definitely head over to TRJKarting.com and check out all the cool stuff they have. I mean, they have some awesome apparel. They have awesome stickers. They have some really cool posters, too, that I definitely want to get a couple for my race room. And just a bunch of great guys. You know, if you do a lot of kart racing, that's a one-stop shop for some parts and stuff like that. Chris, we have a truck that's trying to go into the pits and just spun around. And it looked like it might have been the 21 of Ty Morosco.
Yeah, Ty Morosco is definitely on pit road. I don't see any damage there, Rick, so I'm sure he's going to be fine. Just time for service. You know, these guys, the guys that pit early, let's talk about it. Jamie Walker, 44 laps ago, the 88 was on pit road. Last time out, he stayed out for 43 before he came in. James Mullins, currently running in 3rd spot in the 14 truck. He actually has led some laps here tonight. Right now in 3rd, but he was last on pit road 47 laps ago. So, yeah, it's getting to be about time for some of those guys that came down pit road a little sooner than, say, Michael Cozy.
That's going to be fun to see how that all works out, too. I mean, we got, what, 15 laps to go?
Yeah. 52.
52, yeah. 52 laps to go, so I don't know.
If it's green flag all the way, this could be the last pit stop. And speaking of pit stop, the TRJ Toyota Tundra of Ian Habiak came down for service. Just wanted to give a shout out to the 16. So the question's going to be now, how long does Cozy stay out? You know, if you come down pit road, you can make it on fuel. We've seen that. who was it? Terry Foster went forever on a tank of gas. So we know fuel-wise they can make it. The question's going to be, with the cooling temperatures, the extra grip that these trucks are going to start getting, Rick, how long before the tires really start getting chewed up and you just can't stay out there anymore?
That's one thing that we're definitely going to be looking out for, Chris, as these guys just try to figure out what they're doing. Like you said, Ian, one lap down right now in that number 16 Toyota Tundra, doing what he has to do.
Second place runner, Jamie Walker, coming down pit road, and he came in sideways, so he came in a little hot, able to get that truck slowed down, so he relinquished his second spot, and Michael Cozy still out there. Jamie Walker taking that pit stop, man, and he was the race leader right up until Cozy was able to catch him back up after that last round of pit stops. So maybe Jamie's trying to do exactly what he did last time, just a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Dugan in the 19, Chris, he is sitting, he's got about 6 seconds, and he's actually coming down pit road now also. So I don't think he wanted to hang out as long as they did last time when we were waiting for green flag pit stops. So he's down. I'm trying to check here. Ashley Slice stayed out on track. Well, it's going to get interesting.
Yeah, this is, it's going to take a little bit to sort this one out because the field has been green for a long, long time. So they've separated themselves out a little bit. You can tell who has new tires and who doesn't, though. It's pretty easy to see it in their speeds. I'm watching the times, and the guys that came down are blazing this track. Do want to shout out to everybody who's watching. Oh, as we're under caution. Uh-oh, this could change a lot of things.
Looks like it was the number 7 truck, Chris.
Yeah, Aaron Ramon tried coming down pit road, it looks like, and spun that 7 around. We're going to take a look here on the Max Speed instant replay. 7 makes a transition to get down pit road. And, oh yeah, it just gets loose. Goes up above the commitment cone, out on track, and that is why the caution flag came out. So a self-spin by the 7. And Michael Cozy takes a big, big breath. Because he's going to be able to do something a lot of guys that were just behind him were not able to do. He's going to be able to come down pit road under the caution. Guys, we've been going for a really long time. We're going to take a quick break. Enjoy the commercial. We'll be right back on the other side. And we're back here, blazing pedals. The TRJKarting.com pickup series. Pace car lights are going out. Michael Cozy Jr. is going to be the race leader. He's got Ashton Schleiss going to be right next to him. A lot of cars that were trapped are making their way around the pit car, or excuse me, the pace car. Ooh, it's getting late on a Sunday night, Rick. So they're going to, Michael Cozy brings the whole field back up to the tail end to that pace car as we get ready to go green flag. Rick, they've only got a back stretch, turns 3 and 4, and then we're going to get back under green. And we've seen Michael Cozy just absolutely dominate the field here again on blazing pedals. What's the trick here? How do you get around this guy?
It's something that these guys got to figure out, Chris. I mean, he's been very strong all night long. Unfortunately for the number 7 for bringing out that caution, the number 7 truck, that's Aaron Ramon, is going to be getting an EOL, so he's definitely got a lot of work to do, Chris. But it seems like everybody on this track right now has a lot of work to do except for one guy. And that's where it's going to get fun as the sun is setting. And, you know, there's a lot of shade out in the track right now. I checked the track temperature was down to 80 degrees last time I checked there. So it's definitely cooling off. During practice, it was around 100. And we're going green.
Green flag yet again. Michael Cozy with a huge, huge restart. Michael Cozy up front doing a great job. Ashton Schleiss in the 68, second. Check out third place. Dakota Todd in the 8 truck. Second race on a Sunday night with these guys. He's running in third, but he's got Jamie Walker right behind him in the 88. And points leader Aaron Bockover cracking into the top 5.
Dakota Todd definitely having a nice night though, Chris. Like you said, you know, only a second race here with these guys on the Sunday night. He did join the Friday Night Entry League, so if anybody out there is interested in that, make sure you look on to Facebook and go into the league tab and type in Blazing Pedals Entry League and get with those guys, and you can race the same track, the same amount of miles or laps on these tracks on Friday nights. And if you prove again that you are a respectable, good, clean driver, they can invite you over here to the Sunday Night League, where we're broadcast live every Sunday night from MaxSpeedTV.
Michael Cozy Jr. up front, Ashton Schleiss right behind him, with a gap about a half a truck. And then we've got a little bit of a gap back to third place, Jamie Walker. Jamie, who had a taste of the lead just a little bit ago for 14 laps, looking to try and get back up front. Dakota Todd running in 4th spot, but he's got points leader Aaron Bockover to the inside. Bockover trying to get up to 4th spot. They head into turns 1 and 2. And 44 looks like he may have a slight edge. The 8 battling back on the outside though. Dakota Todd doing a fantastic job holding on to position. The 44 slides up. Noah Van Hoot in the 4, running in 6th spot. What a ride for Van Hoot. Again, huge on the passes that he has done. Last week he was the guy who passed the most cars. This week, well, not that one. We're going to check it out, but I believe, yeah, 18 positions for Van Hoot right now.
And the driver, the number 8, Chris, 19 positions tonight, so both those guys doing a fabulous job.
.162 of 200, Rick. This one's winding down. 3/4 of the race down. Here I am with math again. 48 laps? 38 laps. Whew. Go math.
38 to go, Chris. 3 cautions for 10 laps tonight. 11 lead changes. It's been just an amazing race, bro.
Oh, we have reached that time where the sun's peeking out again through turns 3 and 4, and what a shot that was. Seeing the glare off of the front grills of these trucks, that was cool.
I think you should head into cockpit mode to show the viewers, Chris, to see how these drivers, what they face when they're going around that corner.
We'll do it. We're climbing inside Michael Cozy's car. We'll have him take us around one more time here in Kentucky as he goes across the start-finish line, floats up towards the wall. He'll dive down about a lane high into 1 and 2. And he's able to get on the gas pretty good right now. You can tell those tires are kind of fresh. There's only 10 laps on them. Back out towards the wall, building up speed. Over 170 miles an hour into turns 3 and 4. Look at that sun in the sky. That's awesome, man. That is so cool. Down low on the front stretch across the start-finish line. Michael Cozy taking us around one more time here in Kentucky.
Now, maybe on the video, on the broadcast here, it doesn't look like much, but there are certain times where you're actually blinded by the sun, viewers. So, you know, these guys are definitely, they're dealing with a lot of different things. It totally looks different through the eyes of the drivers.
Oh, absolutely. The angle, even though we're inside the truck in that position, we're not quite in the same position the driver would be in. And I'll tell you from experience, man, that sun will absolutely blind you. Ashton Slice, Jamie Walker running 2 and 3, trying to figure out if they can catch the 77 on Michael Cozy Jr. Michael has led 137 laps here tonight, and that 77 has been on a rail all night long. We've checked in on him 3 different times. 3 different times we've seen just about the same line throughout this entire race. He is doing it the right way here tonight.
He is, and he's keeping a good gap. He doesn't want to get too far, because that's going to allow these guys to actually start really racing hard, Chris, to really get up to the back bumper. He's keeping just that perfect gap to keep those guys trying to figure out what they got to do. Right now, Ashton Slice about 0.7 of a second behind, and it keeps just growing.
That's 0.7 of a second. Then you got another 0.35 back to Jamie Walker. And these 3 have checked out from the rest of the field. The next guy up is Dakota Todd. And Todd in the 8 has got Bockover in the 44 all over him. Bockover trying to get a little racy in that 44, figuring he can try and defend some of this points lost tonight. If he can finish well, the 44 looking to do just that. Bockover right now in 5th, looking to try and take 4th away from Dakota Todd. The battle is on. Noah Van Hoot behind Bockover, though. Van Hoot, wow, was he close to that back bumper, Rick?
Yeah, all 3 of these guys, Chris, are trying to really fight for that position, but right now, Bockover able to hang on to where he's at. And actually, Dakota Todd, he actually pulled away from that group just a little bit, Chris, in that number 8 truck.
Yeah, he did, and that happens when you start racing a little bit. Maybe you lose your line. Who knows, but yeah, he absolutely did. He opened up a gap between himself and Bockover. Now Bockover starts to do the same for him and Van Hoot. So Bockover really trying to get that one more position. Try and be in position to win this race towards the end of it. "30 laps to go. This one far from over. And Aaron Bockover really trying to reel in Dakota Todd.
Ooh, we're going to be under caution, Chris. I just saw, I think Chad Oxendine was involved in the 29.
Chad Oxendine and the 50 going around in circles. You see the black marks on the track. We're going to go back to the Max Speed instant replay to see what happened there, Rick. Chad Oxendine on the lower part of the... Oh, 50 just came down. And wow. Oxendine hard into that wall, spun around I don't even know how many times. We'll have to go back and take another look at that one. James Mullins in the 14, who led earlier on here tonight. He's got the 50 to his outside. Then the 29 comes down. He's just barely underneath the 50. He comes up to the side. And the 50 just comes down on him. And around the 29 goes. The 50 goes around a couple of times. And that leads us to caution. Chad Oxendine on pit road, heavily damaged as the race leaders decide they're coming down pit road. And why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, we only have a few laps left here, Chris, to go. But hey, listen, fresh tires. You get a little bit of Sunoco racing fuel to tighten up that truck, keep it down on the track a little bit more. And why not? But man, that's really unfortunate for the 29 Chad Oxendine, man. He's been having the worst luck so far this season.
Yeah, week in, week out, one of the faster trucks out there. Sometimes it's a matter of controlling that speed, and Chad has been having some issues. Ooh, Ashton Schleiss able to get out in front of Cozy along with Jamie Walker. Excellent pit stops out of those two. They're going to come out ahead of Michael Cozy Jr.
This totally just mixed up everything that we were watching, Chris.
Well,
Ryan D's out there in chat making a shout out to Mark and Ryan, free the admins.
So Ashton Schleiss going to be the race leader as we go back under green. Cozy coming out of the pit road, third spot. You know he's got to be banging on that steering wheel a little bit. You know he feels like that pit crew let him down. And the 77 going to be restarting in third spot.
And just in from race control, Chris, the number 50 truck is going to be getting an EOL for bringing out that caution. Such unfortunate for both those guys tonight.
So everybody having to drop back and kind of punt here as everything has kind of changed. Tyler Gary's staying out. Tyler down 4 laps right now, so he's going to be looking to try and make one back up. And I just saw Cozy pop into my screen, so he is still having some internet issues tonight, Rick. We noticed that he was not in TeamSpeak tonight. Maybe, well, he's got to be having internet problems. I've never seen him blink before. And I've seen it a few times here tonight as Tyler Gary comes down pit road. The 3 truck, that's Corey Sherman. He's going to pass the pace car when there's only 1 lap left. He's going to rejoin the tail end of the lead lap. And he goes now as the pace car lights go off. Ashton Schleiss going to be starting on the pole. On the outside, the 88 of Jamie Walker. Michael Cozy Jr., James Mullins making up the second row. Van Hoot, Aaron Bockover making up the third row. Tyler Dugan, Brandon Dennis, fourth row. Ian Habiak, William Locklear making up that last row. Rounding out the top 10. And man, oh man, we are not done yet, Rick. 26 laps to go. 25 when they cross the start-finish line. And we just talked about it on the last restart. What do you have to do to beat Cozy? You beat him on pit road.
I know, Chris, every time my guys have an issue on pit road, I call it the Kyle Busch. And there we go. We are going green, Chris. Ashton Schleiss in that 68 machine really pouring it on, man. He has been trying to fight for the spot. But look, right behind him, Cozy Jr. gets around the 88 and the 14. Cozy Jr. taking over second, trying to get up to the back bumper of that number 68 Icebreaker Chevrolet. This is going to be fun.
Ashton Schleiss up front, Michael Cozy trying to make a challenge. Right behind him, Jamie Walker. And this may be where they have the best chance. I believe on fresh tires, Jamie Walker may be a little bit faster than Cozy, but Walker's got to figure out a way to try and get around Schleiss. Schleiss, though, battling back on the outside. He is not out of this one yet. Walker trying to figure out where to run. He's running a line between both trucks. Falls in line behind Ashton Schleiss. Drops down. He's looking for second. What an absolute run that 88 had. He's dropping down into the corner. Second place will be Jamie Walker's. Jamie Walker now has to try and figure out a way to catch and then pass the 77 to Cozy. But he's not done with Ashton Schleiss yet. Ashton Schleiss is fighting it back, Rick.
Yeah, Ashton's like, hey, listen, that was my spot, man. I've been trying for this all race long. Now I'm finally here, but yeah, right now Ashton still not giving up, though. Doing what he has to do, sitting in third position. Jamie Walker in that number 88, though. He is fast, Chris.
Yeah, and while they were battling, Cozy took advantage, took a 0.3 of a second lead now. That 77 is definitely still fast. Look at this. James Mullins in the 14 looking to try and join the fun. Running in fourth right behind Ashton Schleiss. James Mullins was able and actually was the only driver out there tonight that has been able to pass Michael Cozy Jr. under green flag conditions. So Mullins looking to try and get there and try and do it again.
He's definitely got some work ahead of him, though, Chris, because Ashton Schleiss in the 68, like I said, he's been wanting to get to where he's at all night. Been having a good, clean race, but then both those guys got to find a way to get around Jamie Walker and then number 88, and Walker's just not going to give up much room there because he wants to really pour it onto the number 77, Michael Cozy, who is the race leader still.
Top four trucks separated pretty equally between each other. About 0.2 of a second apiece. Does Michael Cozy have the truck to beat tonight? If he does, Rick, it'll be the fourth one in a row. It'll guarantee him he's got something in the mail. A nice new hoodie from TRJKarting.com. But he's got to cross that start-finish line first. And right now, I'm not positive. You know, right now, Jamie Walker's there. He's battling just enough to make me go, there may be a challenger yet. But so far, as I mentioned, James Mullins was the only driver that was able to get around Cozy under green flag conditions. Cozy having some internet issues tonight, very unlike him. And that may be just enough to put it in his mind that, hey, maybe I got to be careful if somebody's around me. That's something to watch out for.
I'm back here watching some 3-wide racing, Chris. Now it's back down to 2-wide. But I'm with the 78 truck, William Locklear, doing what he has to do, trying to get around the 95 of Brandon Dennis. Dennis is able to keep that position as they cross the start-finish line right now. Ian Habiak, he moved up into 9th position. He was in that. And they're battling it out with Noah Van Houten at number 4 for 6th position right now, Chris.
Yeah, great battles going back there for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th spot. Brandon Dennis currently in 9th, but he's battling back on the outside. Ian Habiak in the 16 to the inside. Ian looking to try and just gain that position and hold on to it. Right now being scored in 8th spot. Locklear ahead of him, drops down to the inside of Van Hoot. Locklear and Habiak in line. Van Hoot and Dennis on the outside. Dennis may be a little bit faster than all these trucks, but he is stuck there.
Yeah, he definitely had a good run going, Chris, and it looks like he was almost thinking of maybe going 3-wide, but then he thought against it, which I think was a smart move as he just kind of backed off a little bit to the back bumper of that number 4 machine, but the 95 able to get around Ian Habiak right now doing what he has to do. Ian sitting in 9th position.
Dennis now goes to the bottom side of Van Hoot in the 4. Dennis looking to gather up position after position. He's already gotten around Ian Habiak. Now he gets around Van Hoot. Brandon Dennis moving forward in that number 95 Caterpillar truck. Brandon Dennis using the entire track right there as he dropped down below the line, then went back out to the second lane. He is using that whole track, Rick, trying to find speed.
He definitely is, Chris. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, the lights are on now. The sun is set. It's just going to get darker and darker. I mean, we got 15 laps to go, so I don't think it's going to get too dark. But hey, listen, this track totally changed now, so just trying to find the line that he wants to find and run. Right now, he is pretty fast, though, there in that number 95 Caterpillar truck.
Michael Cozy Jr., race leader. He's led 153 laps so far. Would like to lead the last 14, but behind him is Jamie Walker in the 88. And Jamie and Ashton Slice in the 68, they've been battling now since the green flag dropped. Those two trucks very equal. They're trying to, it looks like they're trying to stay nose to tail and try and catch Cozy, but at 0.3 of a second now, and it looks to be gaining. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch him or not. James Mullins, who had led earlier on, he is running in 4th spot. Tyler Dugan in the 19. He had a little bit of a different pit strategy a couple of pit stops ago. Didn't work out for him too well, but has since recovered back in the 5th spot in the 19. Checking again with the race leader. And 2nd and 3rd place may be starting to reel them in just a little bit. Yes, they are. The gap now 0.166 as they head into turns 3 and 4. At some point, you're going to have to do something a little bit different in order to try and win. You cannot just follow the race leader, right? You have to do something a little bit different. If you do the same thing, you're going to not gain position. You're not going to gain time. So you have to figure out a slightly different line. And Jamie Walker may be trying to work on that right now. He was a little bit higher in that corner, came off a little bit lower. They both go up to the wall. That's where you need to be. And what a run the 88 just had. He gained at least 2 truck lengths right there, Rick.
Yeah, 88, he's definitely on a mission, Chris. But, man, we got 11 laps to go. Is it going to be enough?
Two truck lengths separate positions 1 and 2. Oh, Michael Cozy blinks again. Oh my goodness, that was a big one too. With 10 laps to go, would like to thank everybody who's been out there tonight with us in MaxSpeedTV land. We do appreciate it. We appreciate it when you get our chat going for us. It's a lot of fun for us to be able to watch that along with you watching the race. It makes it a lot of fun for us. Very interesting race we've had tonight. Not a lot of cautions. And we've had Michael Cozy up front for, well, most of it. 158 laps of the 200 that we're supposed to be running tonight. With 9 laps to go, he's looking pretty good. That gap opens back up to 0.3 of a second, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, we got 9 laps to go. Chris coming down to make it 8 to go. I don't know if anybody really has anything there for that 77. As long as his internet connection holds out, he might be okay.
Well, we've seen stranger things happen. With 8 laps to go, there's still plenty of time for the 2nd and 3rd place trucks to catch him. And that's assuming that his internet holds up, like you said. He's blinked more times tonight than I've ever seen him blink. In fact, before tonight, I've never seen that truck blink. And if you're new to iRacing or you're new to the channel, if I say the word blink, all I mean is it's a temporary packet loss between the driver and the iRacing server and what we're seeing. So basically it loses some information. Now to the driver, it can look like nothing's happening at all. To the drivers on track, they can see it. But the 77 Michael Cozy, he may have no idea at all that he's even blinking. And that's sometimes, especially like on a super speedway, that can be when it's really dangerous.
Oh yeah, you got a vehicle all the way around you, Chris. You got guys on the inside, outside, they're behind you, right on your bumper pushing, and next thing you know, you blink. Like you said, For the driver, I mean, what normally happens is you'll see, if you're in a pack, you'll normally see all the cars disappear that are around you, and then all of a sudden they'll come back on. When you're a driver that's following that car that just blinked, you know, that thing is bouncing all over the track. It's sliding into the wall, going across down into the infield, then it pops out. And you know, it's a little bit more dramatic for the guys that are following. But yeah, I mean, that's just unfortunate. Let's hope we got 6 to go right now. Coming to 5 to go, Chris. Let's hope that connection just holds out for him.
5 laps to go. Jamie Walker in second place with Ashton Slice right on his back bumper, trying to catch race leader Michael Cozy Jr. Ashton Slice may be a little faster than Walker right now. You saw him take a peek to the inside there and think better of it. But that 68 has been running up front all night long. Great run for Ashton tonight.
Oh, he's had an outstanding night, Chris. But that's one of the things. I mean, we got 4 laps now to go. If you can look on the inside, if you're racing, if he starts racing with the 88, that could just allow Michael Cozy Jr. just to pull away even more. So it's one of those fine lines. Is my run good enough that I'm going to be able to just make a good clean pass and then go? Or should I just stay here and be happy with the position that I have right now?
Remember, next Sunday night, it's 200 laps. Excuse me. No, that's not the case. It's 120 laps from Pocono. That tricky triangle next Sunday night. We've got 4 laps to go. Make it 3 as Michael Cozy had gone across the start-finish line. 3 laps to go for Cozy Jr. to try and win race number 4 in a row. And that could be enough to win him a brand new hoodie sweatshirt courtesy of TRJKarting. Two laps to go. Now it's every man for himself. You're going to start seeing battles happening all around the track. Number 1 battle will be Ashton Slice and Jamie Walker. I don't think these two are done yet. We take a look back. Ian Haydock sitting in 8th spot right now. He started 11th, so a good run for Ian tonight. But I think the battle to watch is going to be right here. It's going to be between Jamie Walker in the 88 and Ashton Slice in the 68. We're white flag. Last lap, 1.5 miles to go for Michael Cozy Jr. And 1.5 miles for Ashton Slice to try and figure out if he can get around Jamie Walker.
And Ashton Slice is looking at that number 68, Chris, looking on the inside, trying to figure it out, says, nope, maybe not. Maybe I'll just hang up back here. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm going to try again.
Michael Cozy rounds through turns 3 and 4, heading down the front stretch. And he is going to cross the start-finish line and win 4 in a row. Ashton Slice cannot get around Jamie Walker. Slice ends up 3rd. Jamie Walker 2nd. And as we've seen before, Cozy having fun already on this cool-down lap. Great race from everybody here at Blazing Pedals, the TRJKarting.com Truck Series. Man, Rick, that was a good one.
Oh, it was outstanding. Congratulations to Michael Cozy Jr. on number 4.
167 laps led for the man right there driving the 77 truck. And I don't think there was anything anybody else could have done out there tonight. Walker bringing it home in 2nd spot. Ashton Slice coming home 3rd. James Mullen's going to end up 4th. Tyler Dugan 5th spot tonight. Nothing left to do, Rick, except for some post-race interviews. Guys, we're going to set those up. We'll be back in just a moment. And we are back live here from Kentucky with third place finisher Ashton Schleiss in the 68. Ashton, Chris, and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, bud, that was a pretty good race you had there. You started third, you ended up third, and it looked like you had a little bit left in the tank trying to get past Jamie in the last lap there. Take me through your race, the ups and downs of it.
Yeah, man, we really fought at the end there. I thought I was going to get him, but just missed out a little bit. Track was really rough at first. Just it was so hot out, and it was so slick. And I don't know if you guys caught it, my slide through the grass. That put me all the way back to 8th, and then stayed out and got lucky with that caution. Restarted, what was that? Restarted 2nd, and then, yeah, it just worked out pretty well. Pretty happy with the result.
Yeah, pretty strong points night out there for you. Is there anybody on that truck that you need to thank tonight?
First and foremost, gotta thank TRJKarting for sponsoring the whole series. It's pretty awesome what they've been doing. Gotta thank teammates at Rebellion, and gotta thank Mark for putting on the league and you guys for broadcasting.
Well, so far it's been absolutely a wicked pleasure, man. This has been so much fun. Ashton, congratulations again on third place here tonight. Ashton Schleiss bringing the 68 home in third spot.
Thank you, guys.
Next finisher, the number 88, Rick, Jamie Walker.
Yeah, Jamie Walker. You got Rick and Chris up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
Hey, man, long time no talk. Congratulations on second tonight. Tell us a little bit about your race.
I don't know. It's a lot of work. I couldn't do anything with that 77, man. I mean, everything else I could handle pretty good. I don't know. I tried and tried and tried. Just could not get around that 77.
Yeah, I mean, you had a good qualifying run. You came in, started 6th, man. I mean, at one point you went back and then you came back up through the field, man. Second place. You had a heck of a race, brother. Congratulations.
Yeah, I was really hoping. Me and who was it? Me and James. We were on different pit strategy. We're on a strategy together, and we were going to try and short pit these guys and see what we could do. But unfortunately, that caution came out kind of late. So it would have been nice to see what could have happened. But it's all right.
Well, there it is, man. So we look forward to seeing you next week there in Pocono. Is there anybody out there on that number 88 you'd like to give a thank? I see a little bit different paint job here this week.
Yeah, of course, all my guys at Young Guns Motorsports. I mean, they helped me out a lot. My wife allowed me to do this. You guys up here in the booth, and then Blazing Pedals for putting this on for me. It's been an awesome season so far.
Well, awesome, brother. Well, thank you again. Congratulations. Enjoy it, and we will see you next week at the Tricky Triangle.
Thank you, sir. You too.
Driver of the 88, Jamie Walker, bringing it home, second spot, and that leaves us just one more person to talk to. And that is the driver of the 77. He led 167 laps here tonight. Michael Cozy Jr., this is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, it's good to talk to you guys again.
Well, this is becoming a weekly occurrence, but this is 4 in a row for you. Take me through the night.
Oh, man. Well, it was actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be. It's been a long time since I raced in Kentucky, and of course, the last time I was here, they didn't have the whole day-night transition. That was actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be. Early on, it was really slick, and I felt like that played in my hands a lot. And we weren't really sure how long the race was going to go, and when we'd see the nighttime come, and when it would start getting darker. But I was really hoping and praying that the sun would stay out shining and keep the track slick, because I felt like I was when I was my fastest. But there after a while, it started to cool down a little bit, and I felt everybody started picking up on me a little bit. And after that, it was just a bunch of transitions. After that, there was a point where it was really starting to get dark, and I just found a groove, and it was towards the long run. The thing was so smooth driving. It was like a hot knife through butter. It was really feeling good, and then it really got dark there at the end. The pace really picked up, and I was scared. I felt like the biggest thing coming into this race was the tire wear, and I felt like I was doing really good managing my tires throughout the race. One of the reasons why I wanted to keep it hot, when it got cooler, and I was really scared that it was just pedal to the metal, and it was the speeds were really fast, and I wasn't very confident, but we got it done. I slipped through my box there too, and that wasn't pretty, but we made the best out of it, I guess.
Well, you sure did, and like I said, you led 167 laps. Only one driver was actually able to pass you under the green flag, and that was Mullins. And it looked like you had lost quite a bit of speed there for a little while. You were able to catch back up to him and pass him again a little later on, but for a little bit there, I thought you had lost a little speed. Now, talking about saving your tires, we went on board your truck a few times throughout the course of the night here just to kind of check out your lane, and it looks like through 1 and 2 you stayed the same. 3 and 4 you changed things up just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I was for the most part I was trying to do pretty much the same thing all night. The setup's not totally great, so sometimes it doesn't want to go or you turn it. But most of the time, especially on like newer tires, if it was really turning well, I'd try to turn it underneath the seam. But the goal the whole night was to keep it right there on that first seam. I felt like that was pretty much the fastest for me. But yeah, there was a couple times. I mean, I was just trying to make the best of it I could. It was there's just not a lot of front grip in these things. The front tires really go bad after a while. So I don't know about some of the other guys, but I was using the brakes more and more, trying to get it set and trying to get it turned, which I thought once again played really good into my strengths. Just trying to get it turned, I felt like I was doing that really well. But yeah, for the most part, I gotta say it's probably the most fun I've had in a long while because just how many times the track changed and how differently it felt throughout the entire race. That was a lot of fun.
All right, bud. Well, I give you this opportunity every single time. But actually, before I do, I've got some. I don't know if you know this or not, but by virtue of your 4th win in a row, I hear you have a hoodie coming from TRJKarting.com.
Yeah. Someone told me like halfway through the race, and I was like, man, I got to win now. I wanted to get my 4th in a row, but I really need a hoodie, man. So I'm extremely thankful to those guys. It's going to be put to good use.
All right. Well, as I do every time, is there anybody out there on that truck that you want to thank?
Oh yeah, I got a load of people. First off, I want to thank my primary sponsor, Indy Racing Images. You can check them out at IndyRacingImages.com. I do a lot of sprint car photographs and a lot of just photographs of race cars throughout Indiana. So check them out. They're really, really great, and they do some really, really cool stuff. Shout out to Mark for everything he does for the league and all the admins, and you guys for broadcasting, of course. Everybody just helps the league get going. Of course, TRJ, they sent me a shirt. Now I look forward to the hoodie, so thanks to those guys for showing some love and helping out the series. I want to thank all my YouTube members who are on the car. Couldn't do it without them. So thanks to each and every one of these guys. Marshall Newton, who's actually a teammate of mine tonight, and I can't forget about my teammate Schleiss. He was helping me out on the restarts tonight. We were working really well. I'm glad he got another good finish. So the rest of them: Hunter, Spencer Preet, Cameron Kane, Tyler Diggin, Nastude, What If Racing, Matthew Hibbard, Motorsports Games, Ziegler, Misscraft, Banford Days, Steve Goodwin, Red Falcon, Robbie Rock, Brett Ellison, Jonathan, Casey Wood, Patrick Starr, GPL, Project Vash, Dennis, Jarrett, Sloom, The Random Duo, Mark Eckstein, Ryan, T. Fane, Ellis Field, Ed Soundhead, Show Me Your Doodle, JJ Lawson, Monster Toe, Kay Hill, Gabriel, Jeff Nooney, Jared Underhill, Caleb, Florky, William Britton, Rosie Boy, Z, Rogue, Master of 24, Nick A, and Cleveland Eaton. Once again, I couldn't do it without those guys, and I appreciate the hell out of them.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations once again to driver of the number 77 Chevy Silverado, Michael Cozy Jr. And guys, that is going to do it from Kentucky here tonight. Thank you all for tuning in to MaxSpeedTV. We hope you enjoyed it. We sure did. Rick, it was a blast, man. Next week, the Tricky Triangle Pocono. Oh, boy.
Yeah, we're heading from Kentucky to the Pocono Mountains, man. I'm ready for that one, but hey, first we got to get through the week. I hope everybody has a great Sunday night. Thank you for joining us here on MaxSpeedTV. Have a great start to the week tomorrow, and please definitely say a prayer if you're the praying type for all our friends down in Kentucky. And I know Kyle Gilbert wasn't able to race tonight there, Chris. Dealing with some evacuation stuff, and the folks down in Tennessee and all over the U.S. where we're getting the crazy weather, man. Everybody, please be safe.
Absolutely, and have a good night, everybody.